and with a 6-3 record, their schedule has stood up very well this year, with Tolono Unity having a fine year, Olympia, Monticello doing very respectable. Of course, the other conference teams like St. Jude's and Sullivan doing very well this year. This Eureka team with a good record, and also, of course, Bloomington Central Catholic in there with their fine record. The schedule has been tough enough that the points that we're sitting at right now would probably get us into the picture, even without the games this week, counting the games this weekend. And I saw where Central Catholic won again last night. So we're like now, I think, at 37 points, maybe 36, 37 points. We should be in good shape if we can win tonight to make the playoff picture.
Yeah, definitely. You have to get the win nailed down before you start thinking about the playoffs. And this was built in the Pantograph as a playoff for the playoffs, and that's really realistic.
Well, that's kind of what it is here. This is kind of a playoff game between these two teams to see who can make it into the playoffs. And the Maroons, as of late, feeling very good about themselves because, obviously, a big win weeks ago at Sullivan. And then after a sluggish first half, a good solid second half against Argenta in winning 27-6 in the homecoming game last week. So the Maroons are on an upswing now the last couple of games, and they hope to ride it right through this game tonight at Eureka.
But one thing that is heartening is both weeks the defense played exceptionally good ball, and especially the secondary last week as Argenta put the ball up in the air 30, 40 times, and they didn't complete a lot. So the defense is definitely playing better ball, and that's what you want to see when you get to this point of the season.
Eureka is a member of the River Trails Conference, and as we look over that conference, it looks like it's a bit down this year with Eureka and Pittsfield at the top. Pittsfield, a 6-2 team, that they have won the conference crown with a 5-0 record, so they're in the playoffs. Eureka, the runner-up with a 4-1 record. They're only lost in conference play to Pittsfield. The rest of the schools, and this is a conference that's really spread out. As a matter of fact, Eureka, I think the year after next, is going to join the Corn Belt Conference and play some schools a little bit closer to home. But right now, they play the likes of Petersburg, Porta, Riverton, schools down near Springfield. We already mentioned Pittsfield, which is way down, much farther south from here. Then they have Tremont, which, of course, is south of the Peoria-Pekin area a little ways. And I'm forgetting what other team right off the top of my head. But, oh, Havana. Havana's the other school over by the Illinois River. And they have finished ahead of those four teams, but all those teams have losing records. So it's kind of left us wondering just how good is this Eureka football team coming into this ball game. We know one thing, they have a very good running back.
Oh, yeah, Luke Roki is definitely going to lead this team. The press has talked much about the matchup of Luke Roki on offense versus Nate Sams on offense, and that could very well be a big, important matchup to look for tonight.
They're introducing members of the starting lineup of Eureka right now to the home crowd here. Of course, this is the final home game of the year for them, and at least for the regular season. And so there's a big crowd out here for this one tonight. Folks hoping they can make the playoffs. It's their senior night. They've honored the seniors and their parents and so on, much like we did last week with a lot of festivities. The Maroons are standing over there by the school waiting to run out here, and they're going to have to wait just a little bit while they finish announcing this Eureka lineup. But the Maroons are looking a little fidgety over there, ready to get this game underway, which will be beginning in about 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to take a break here in our pregame show, and we'll come back and talk more about this game and get it underway shortly. The Clinton Maroons going for a playoff spot tonight here at Eureka. Back with more in just a minute. First and 10 for the Clinton Maroons. It's Sams wants to throw. He's looking for Herzog up the right sideline all the way. He's man. He got it. 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown, Maroons! Look backfield. One wide receiver each way. Quick pop over the middle to Nichols. He'll give it. Oh, and a lateral to Carter. Hook and ladder. Carter's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Maroons! Maroons really need to score on this play. From the 6. Dan hands it off. Collie trying to get around the corner. He's got the speed. 5. Touchdown!
Clinton Maroon football brought to you by the John Warner Bank, Edward D. Jones and Company, Dave's Food Basket, Walker Tire, Allen Chiropractic, Ace Hardware, Subway, Joe Taylor, Attorney at Law, Quality Glass, Illinois Power, and the Clinton Daily Journal.
Both teams are moving out toward the center of the field, and we're just about set to get this one underway. The Maroons in their traveling road uniforms. The white jerseys trimmed in maroon and gold. They're wearing the bright gold pants. And, of course, the maroon helmets. And as we look at Eureka, if you're watching the television replay, they have the bright school colors of the green and gold. And they'll be wearing their all green uniforms, the green jerseys and green pants. So they'll be easy to pick out there in the football field.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And one thing I was talking with Carl Kortz a little bit today, and he said that his kickoffs are certainly going to be farther back tonight, as he was a little bit tired last week after the cross-country meet.
Is that a guarantee we're going to see some 60-yard kicks here?
Well, he said he'll definitely be kicking them as hard as he can tonight.
Well, one thing they got to be careful of, though, is keeping the ball out of the hands of Luke Roque as much as possible. Their fine tailback, he's one of the deep men as they prepare for this kickoff. And I believe the other man, we'll have to wait and see, he's got his hand over his jersey right now. That is Greg Lehman, who's a junior, 5'6", 130 pounds. Carl Kortz to kick it off for the Maroons at the 40-yard line. Gets the signal from the official. And is just about ready to approach the football, and here comes Carl, and we're ready to go with this game to decide if the Maroons can make the playoffs. They two deep men look at each other. It goes between them and through the end zone. It bounded inside to 5 and then through the end zone. A little cross-up between the two deep men for Eureka. Neither one decided to make a return on it, so Eureka will start 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of confusion on that play, but now Eureka will start off, and this is important for the Maroons defense to come out and show that they can stuff this run early.
And you're right, looked like Carl has been rested up a little bit. He got some good foot into that ball, as he showed us earlier in the year. Good to see that on the opening kickoff. Eureka's offense, their quarterback is Adam Roque. He's a junior, 5'9", 150 pounds, and lined up right behind him in the backfield. They will run it toward the middle this time and surround it immediately, and a loss on the play. The Maroons there, guys like Nate Sams, who is starting on defense. And, of course, David Lemmel making a stop on the play, a loss of a yard for Eureka on their opening play, 2nd and 11 coming up at their own 19.
Well, that's important to see out of the Maroons defense, and they did a nice job there as middle linebacker Jeff Wilson came in there, and a bunch of guys just filled the hole and didn't give Luke Roque a chance to run free, which he's done plenty of this season.
Eureka apparently is a running football team. They don't throw it very much. I think the Maroons will probably cheat a little bit, bring those safeties up there and try to hammer that run down and keep Roque under wraps. On 2nd down, they will try the reverse action again a little bit. Roque gets a couple of yards across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Now they say it was number 30 instead. My mistake. Mike Kaufman was the ball carrier. A gain of maybe 2, almost 3 yards on the play, but Eureka will have a 3rd down and at least about 8 to go for a 1st down coming up at their own 22-yard line.
It was another good job by the Maroons as they came up there. They forced him to come inside, not let him get outside and get potentially a bigger gain. And the secondary, once again, looks like to be doing a good job.
Roque will line up straight behind Adam Roque, the quarterback. Luke Roque, the fine running back. Will they get the call? There's a flag on the play. They want to throw. Popped over the middle. Schumacher diving. Did he make the interception? It looked like a catch here. I think he's going to get the interception at the 43-yard line, but there is a penalty flag along the line of scrimmage. Let's see if the diving catch by Schumacher stands up. Ryan with another interception if the penalty doesn't overrule it. He had great coverage on his receiver, and then he made a great diving catch going back toward the Eureka goal line to make the interception.
A beautiful play by Schumacher. He stayed with his man and then followed the ball, and they made another one of those great catches that we've been seeing all season long.
They're talking with Nate Sams. The Maroons already have their offense out on the football field, and they're sure they're going to get the football. The diving interception by Schumacher, this time on the 3rd play from the line of scrimmage instead of the 1st play from the line of scrimmage like it was last week against Argenta. Made it the 43-yard line of Eureka. Illegal procedure the call against Eureka, so the Maroons had the ball in great field position with their first offensive series very early in the ball game. We haven't even played a minute and a half into the contest yet.
Well, once again, it was a good job by the defense creating a turnover. They had 5 last week. They get one here, and whoever leads in turnover should win this game.
Out of the I formation, Wilson gets the call, has an opening left side. He's already in the 40, down to the 35, and finally knocked down near the 34-yard line. About a 8, maybe 9-yard carry by the fullback, Jeff Wilson, on 1st down.
Good job by the Maroons there as they went off tackle on that left side, and Jeff Wilson just found the hole, and the secondary for Eureka had to come up and make a nice play.
Just inside the 35-yard line, the football in Eureka territory for the Clinton Maroons. They will have a 2nd down and 2. Schumacher Queer come wide to the right-hand side. I formation, it's Wilson, and in the backfield, Ijems gets the start at tailback. Sams, option right, has lots of running room, cuts it upfield, has an opening 20, 50, and he runs away, and the Maroons are on the board already in the ball game. At the 9:53 mark to go in the 1st quarter play, Sams runs it in from 35 yards out, and he made it look awfully easy.
Yeah, it was an option right, and it was good blocking as the wide receivers did a nice job tying up their secondary men. The line kept their guys open. And it seemed like Nate hit that hole, and then he got a little bit more of a speed burst there, and just he flew by everybody.
So Sams galloping in the end zone. He had Igens flanked to his side and looked like he could have given the ball to Bobby at any time if he wanted to, and Bobby could have run it in. But Nate had the big hole up the middle, and he was able to run it in. And the Maroons in the lead 6-0 with Carl Corpse ready to try to tack on the extra point. Let's see if he can hit the track here. Placement's down, kick on the way. The whistles are blowing. The kick is through the uprights. I thought maybe there was a flag on the player. The whistle's blowing, thinking they're play, but apparently they were just calling the play dead as he made the kick, so I'm getting too excited here. 7-0 is our score. 9:53 to go in the first quarter play. We'll take timeout as there's timeout on the field, and the Maroons with the lead. Against Argenta, where the Maroons hit a few more plays, scored quickly in the ball game and opened up a 7-0 lead. And you know what happened in that ball game? Argenta scored late in that first half of play, and it was only 7-6 at halftime. So the Maroons, even though they made it look easy, can't be overconfident this early in the ball game.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially with the season on the line. But it was a good job by the offense there as they cashed in on the turnover. That's what you have to do when you get the ball.
Court's ready to kick off again here. Just a little over 2 minutes into the ball game. Maroons leading 7-0. And again, it's Roki and Lehman, the deep men. They're standing back about their own 5-yard line. Lehman a little deeper at about his own 3, and the kick's going to go toward Lehman. He takes it at the 6, bobbles it, picks it up at the 5-yard line, now tries to bring it up the far sideline, gets around the corner, broke a tackle, then Igens grabs him around the ankles, and there's a flag on the play in a vicinity where Lance Taylor was being blocked out in the center of the field around the 21, 22-yard line. But let's see what's thrown out here upfield where the blocking was taking place out front. Officials discuss it. We're waiting for our preliminary signal. The flag is laying in the vicinity of the 23-yard line. Here's the preliminary signal. It's a holding call against the Hornets of Eureka. And they'll talk things over with Jeff Wilson, the Maroons defensive captain out there, and we'll push him back even deeper than that 22-yard line where the return was stopped.
Well, the holding was probably caused by the bobbling of the ball on the goal line. It showed a little bit of nerves there by Lehman, which is to be expected in a game of such importance. They're trying to keep a piece of their guy so Lehman could get upfield.
Lance Taylor, one of the Maroons' special teams guys that has done a very good job on special teams out there, was the guy that the flag was thrown in the vicinity of. He was the man being held, and he was helping the official a little bit there, making sure that the official saw and made the call on the play, I noticed, by his gestures.
Oh, yeah, Lance is definitely going to help the referees whenever he can.
So Eureka is back to the 12-yard line as they mark off the 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. And they've got one wide receiver way out to the right-hand side, then everybody else tied on the line with, I think, one lone back in the backfield. And they're set to go now. They send the clock in motion as we're early in the first quarter of play. Adam Roki, their junior quarterback up under center, sends a man in motion. Now whirls, hands it off, first man up the middle. It's Roki, gets out to about the 20-yard line, maybe to the 21. A good first down carry. Luke Roki grabbed by Bob Igens and also had help from Ryan Schumacher, but not until he gained almost 9 or 10 yards on that run.
And that's what's got to be worrying the defensive coach-minded Chuck Nagel is Luke Roki on the season, 1,147 rushing yards. So he's done a nice job this season, and if he's allowed to roam like that, it'll be a long night for the Maroons.
He got enough for the first down, they say, out to the 22-yard line. Remember, they started at the 12-yard line after the penalty, so they've got it back out to where they would have started this drive on the kickoff return had there not been a penalty. They're moving from our right to left, from south to north here at Eureka High School. They'll bring a man across from the left end and line him at the right end. A couple of men go in motion. Roki gets the call. He's into the clear. Igens will try to chase him down, gets a block out front. And then he's knocked down, but not until he gets about 14 yards. Randy Rich had to come up to make the tackle on the play. But some good blocking out in front, and Roki's got pretty good speed. He got another first down.
Well, what keyed that play is it was a good kick-out block by the tackle there. That was a good lead block, and that just sprung him open, and he made a nice play. As you said, he bursted onto the scene after that block, but it was a good job by the Eureka offensive line.
Officially a 13-yard pickup out to the 35-yard line on the far hash mark, the right-hand side of the field. 1st and 10 for the Eureka Hornets. Clinton leads 7-0. Scored on their opening drive after intercepting a pass. Ryan Schumacher with the interception, Sams with the touchdown run. This one's bottled up a little bit. Roki is tangled up and brought down near the 36-yard line. Ross Wantland was there and had help from Ryan Schumacher and several others. They had him surrounded, had the line bottled up, and didn't give him much running room, and he only got about a yard.
Yeah, Ross Wantland was in there. Also, Casey Hicks coming over from his line spot to help him, and as you said, Schumacher. And that's more of the type of job the Maroons have to do to stop Roki. They have to get a lot of guys around him to bring him down, as he is pretty elusive.
Down to 9 at the 36-yard line for the Hornets. They've got wide receivers both ways this time. They'll give the Roki. He tries the right-hand side, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, is across the 40, 45-yard line, appears to have another first down before he's brought down by the guys in the secondary. Randy Rich and Bob Igems again had to make the tackle, but they're approaching midfield. They're out to their own 46-yard line with another first down.
And good blocking again keyed that play. Kaufman had a nice lead block to polish off one of the Maroons linebackers there, and that's what really sprung Rocky.
The Maroons defense has improved the last couple of weeks. We went through that period against Monticello and St. Therese Central Catholic where we gave up a bunch of yardage, but we finally nipped it in the bud against Sullivan and continued it last week against Argenta, and they hope to do it here, but they've got a tough running back they're trying to cover here tonight. On the first down and 10, they'll run it up the middle again and into Clinton territory. About a 5-yard gain this time for the other ball carrier out of the backfield, Mike Kaufman. They use a lot of misdirection there and can cross you up. Sometimes they look like they're going right, but then they'll bring that other guy back across from the left like they did this time and popped a little hole up the middle.
Well, when you have a guy that's so important like Roki, the defense tends to look for him, and when you run a misdirection play like that, then you can easily spring Kaufman up because the defense is looking for Roki, and then they could over-pursue on Roki, and Kaufman could go free.
2nd and 5. They're at the 48 of the Maroons now. And Adam Roki has them up to the line of scrimmage. Again, they'll pick up the tight end and move him around to the right-hand side. He sets back down. That's Jeff Brady, one of their captains. They'll try it up the middle. Maroons have it bottled up pretty good, but still, Roki pulling hard, got 4, almost 5 yards on the carry, pulling Ross Wantland. Him very close to the first down marker. We'll see what kind of spot they give him and whether or not he has enough for a first down. They might have to measure.
And that's the toughness of Roki right there. He moved the pile. He was stacked up inside by Casey Hicks and Dave Lemmel initially. He got by them, and he just kept moving down. Kept the ball going up the field, and he could have got a first down on that effort.
He plays bigger than he really is. They list him at 5'10", 165, but you'd swear by the way he runs the football. And I remember that last year when he played us back at Clinton as a junior last year. He plays bigger than he really appeared.
Oh, definitely. And you know, when you have a guy that's that low to the ground, you know, it's hard to bring him down on the play because the linebackers have to get lower than him to try to block him. And that's sometimes hard to do when he's going so fast.
The measurement comes up just a few inches short. They had 3rd down and very short at the 44 of Clinton. The Eureka Hornets on a drive. Clinton leads 7-0. We're nearing the halfway point of the first quarter. Big game for both these teams. They'll give it off again and run it right up the middle. And Roki has the first down. Luke Roki is inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Not a big hole that time, but a good push by the Eureka offensive line. And with his running ability, enough easily to get probably about 5 yards on the play and another first down to near the 39-yard line.
Yeah, they only needed a few inches. The offensive line did a nice job there, but Jeff Wilson and the linebackers bottled them up there, and Roki is getting the ball a lot, and they're moving the ball down the field.
I see the coaching staff, Brian Knudsen, who's really more the offensive type of guy, but he's out there coaching the team, yelling his heart out, trying to help him. Here's Roki trying to get around the right corner. He gets past Schumacher. Good speed. He's inside the 30, still on his feet and run out of bounds. Somewhere in the vicinity of the 20-yard line. We'll see how much forward progress they give him. He's got another first down easily and a bunch more. They say he went out of bounds near the 23-yard line, but Eureka's good drive, which started at their own 12, is now to the 22 of Clinton with another first down.
Yeah, Roki once again was the beneficiary of good blocking. The tackle on the right side there finished off the end, and he got around that side and just had plenty of running room. 3
players in, 3 players out. We saw Casey Hicks, Randy Rich, Nate Sams go out of the ball game, and some new numbers come into the ball game for Clinton to try to help out and slow down this attack. Rusty Carr came into the ball game for 1. I'll have to try to double check and see who else slipped in there. Josh Wilson is in the ball game right now, but he might have been in there all along. On 1st and 10 for the 22. They'll give it to a new man. He's around the right corner. He may go all the way. 5, touchdown. They crossed everybody up, and Shad Cribbs was the ball carrier for the first time, and he went around the right corner and in from 22 yards out, and Eureka's back within 1 point of the Maroons.
Well, Larry mentioned the misdirection play, and that's what happened there. They faked the ball to Roki out of the one-back set, and then they gave it off to Cribbs as he came up from his position, and the defense, I don't think, was looking for it, and he just ran right by him.
So Cribbs brings Eureka within 1 point. They will try the extra point kick here in just a moment. Knapp will be the kicker. Awaiting the snap from center. The placement's down. Here's the kick. And it hits the goal post, but it is no good according to the officials. It hit the right upright and bounded off. No good. So Clinton retains a 1 point lead. We'll take timeout. 5:30 to go in the first quarter of play. Clinton leads by 1 over Eureka, 7-6.
The Clinton Daily Journal brings hometown news to you Monday through
The 22-yard touchdown run by Chad Cribbs. We'll see who's got the ball teed up out there. It's Luke Roque. He's an all-purpose guy, isn't he? He'll kick off for Eureka. The Maroons have Igems and Conley not in there right now. Igems, and I think it's Jamie Queer, the deep men, standing at their own 5.
An impressive 88-yard drive for Eureka as both teams are feeling each other out now.
Roque, good kick. Igems at the 15. 20 has a wedge out in front, but Eureka slices through pretty well and catches him and takes him down at the 28-yard line. And the Maroons will start 1st and 10 from about their own 28, maybe the 29-yard line after the forward progress on the return by Bob Igems. Bob gets up a little gingerly out of that pile, but he'll go back to the huddle and rejoin the rest of the offense.
And it's good starting position for the Maroons there as they're just short of the 30-yard line. And let's hope that their first drive will happen again. They can drive the ball down the field and get another score.
2 wide receivers left-hand side. Maroons option. Sam's caught from behind and pulled down and dropped for a loss on the play. Grabbed by Josh Knapp, one of their senior captains. He's a 6'3", 190-pound defensive lineman. He got Sams before he could get away from center almost and dropped him for a 2-yard loss. And Eureka, after a tough start when the Maroons scored so quickly, after intercepting a pass, the Maroons did, Eureka now has the momentum going their way, it appears.
And Knapp is going to be a big player for Eureka if they're going to stop the Maroons' offense, as he was mentioned in the Panagraph area in the preseason as one of the good players of the area, and he showed why right there.
Schumacher and Queer on the reverse to Queer from Igems. Has a hole around the left-hand side. They come up, though, and shut him down after he gets out to about the 34-yard line. Reading the play was Mike Kaufman, who came up and made the tackle. But Queer was able to get the 2 yards on the loss back, plus about 5 more. And the Maroons will have a 3rd down and about 5 coming up near their own 35-yard line.
It was a nice misdirection play, and they got about 7, as you said. And Bobby made a nice play to get it off to Jamie, and then Jamie ran around that left side.
They sold it as a run to the right with Igems, but then brought Queer around to the left-hand side. Sam's rolling out right, wants to throw. Has Schumacher. He makes the catch, 45-yard line. Fakes the man, stays on his feet, and is finally run out of bounds near midfield. Ryan Schumacher, the big horse, at least he looked like one there on that play. Tough to bring down. Gets the Maroons all the way out to midfield and a 1st down.
And Ryan made a nice play there. It was a little bit of a rollout action by Nate to the right side. He hit Schumacher in a beautiful pass that he led him a little bit, and that's what made the play work. And then Ryan made the tacklers miss in the secondary by Eureka.
Just under 4 minutes ago in the first quarter of play, and Clinton is leading by a score of 7-6. When Eureka had just scored on their last drive and made it impressive, moved it right down the field. Some 88 yards for the score. Maroons now driving. Sam's option right, has an opening, hurdles a man, 45, 40-yard line. He's running out of bounds, should be very close to another 1st down in Eureka territory at about the 39-yard line. Looks like he's got the 1st down from here.
And it was a good job by Dave Lummel and Casey Hicks on that right side, and that's the play we like to see for the Maroons on that option right, getting 10, 11 yards.
It looks like if they take it to that right-hand side, they have the ability to move the ball up the field pretty handily. Sam's had a lot of running room that play.
Yeah, Casey Hicks and Dave Lummel are doing a good job, and also Ryan Schumacher from that tight end position. They're one of the reasons Nate got the 35-yard run on the first drive.
After Eureka 39, Wilson will try the other side and pounds it in there. Still on his feet and gets it down inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line. A good 5-yard run as he fell forward for the extra yard or 2 at the end by Jeff Wilson.
And Nate really just bowled over one of Eureka's linebackers as he hit him hard, bounced off, and got 2 more yards, and a nice effort as he's in his customary position running up the middle of the field. That's what the Maroons like to see him do.
2nd down and a long 5 for the Maroons at about the 34 of Eureka now. Out of the I formation, Sam fakes the handoff under pressure. It's deflected and almost intercepted. 2 men were there, and I think they fought over the football and lost it when they both tried to catch the football. Sam's arm went forward just as he was hit. It floated toward the vicinity of a couple of linemen. Joe McLaughlin and Josh Knapp were both there, and I think Knapp knocked it away from McLaughlin, or they would have had an interception by one of their linemen.
Yeah, potential disaster avoided by Clinton there, and it was a good play by the defensive lineman to put pressure on Nate, and he's got to have more time to throw to be successful.
Came from the blind side. He didn't see him coming. They have wide receivers, 1 each way. Split the backfield this time. Sams wants to throw. 3rd down pass play. Gets to Wilson out of the backfield. He's running for the 1st down marker and should be very close near the 29-yard line, and it looks like he got a pretty good spot from here. He may have the 1st down.
And it was a nice play. It was a good screen set up on that right side, and he followed behind Ryan Schumacher, who set a nice block, and he just might have that 1st down.
The officials Rule, it is a first down as they looked at it all the way across the field. The chains on the far side, the Clinton side. So Wilson out of the backfield. That's that same play that we used for the two-point conversion against Sullivan. We used it several times this year. It goes for a first down here to the 29-yard line of Eureka. And Schumacher and Queer go wide left on this play. Out of the I formation this time. Sams on the option left. Pitches to Igems. He's in the clear. 30, 25, 20. Cuts around another man. Breaks another tackle. 15, 10. And finally run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line down near the 8 or so. Great run by Igems, and Sams made the pitch right at the right time.
Yeah, great pitch by Nate as he waited till he was almost in the hands of the defensive man. He knew he was going to get crushed, but he still made that pitch out there. Nice job, Nate.
By the way, Ryan Conley not playing, but he is in uniform. We see him right in the front of the guy standing along the sideline over there. He is in uniform. I don't think the Maroons want to use him unless they have to. It's inside the 10, about the 7-yard line, first and goal for the Maroons. Sams to Igems, looking for opening up the middle, and boy, he is surrounded and pummeled to the ground for a loss on the play.
McLaughlin did a nice job for Eureka there. He got the penetration and stopped Bobby for a loss.
That'll bring up a second down and goal, and they lost about 2 yards on the play. Back to about the 9-yard line for the Maroons. Might be time for the old Sams to Schumacher play. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, they have plenty of room on that left side. They could try it.
The ball is on the left hash mark, though. The Maroons from the 9-yard line, second and goal. Sams option, he slipped a little bit, still running with the football, cuts it upfield, 5-yard line, diving for the goal line, and did not get in there, it appears, but he is very close, down to maybe about the 1 or 2-yard line. They spot it back closer to the 2, it appears, so it'll be third down and goal from near the 2 on Sam's 7-yard pickup.
And it was the option right, and once again, it was a great block by the fullback Jeff Wilson. He did a nice job there, and that freed him open, and he got around that block and got to the outside, almost got to the goal line.
Van Fossen wide to the left, Queer wide to the right. The official stops the clock for a moment. And the Eureka fans down below us rattle in the bleachers a little bit, stomping their feet. Schumacher's going to have to come out of the ballgame. He was lined up at the tight end on the right-hand side, and apparently Schumacher might be bleeding a little bit, so they're going to send him off to the sideline. So coming in his place and bringing a play in, it appears, will be Randy Rich.
And that takes out an added weapon on this goal line. As we've said before, they like to pass to Ryan Schumacher in these situations.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. A 1-point Clinton lead, 7-6. They scored in their opening possession, but then Eureka came right back and scored a touchdown of their own. Third and goal from the 2 for Clinton. Now to split backfield. Sams, quarterback keeper, pushing hard, is in for the touchdown. And the Maroons have opened up the lead a little bit more now with the 2-yard quarterback keeper by Nate Sams to 13-6.
Well, Nate followed Ross Wantlin there, the center, and he just had a big enough hole to get those 2 yards. And now with the Maroons back up on top by a touchdown, the defense has to do a good job and try to stop Eureka.
Sam's second touchdown of the ball game. The first one, a 35-yard run. This one just the quarterback keeper with a good push by the offensive line. Now Carl Court's on for the extra point attempt again. Placing it down by Sams. Good rush by Eureka, but he nails that one and puts it through the uprights. So with 1:39 to go in the first quarter of play, Clinton leads by 8 as we'll take timeout. It's the Maroons 14, Eureka. Second time they started from their own 28. But both times they've been able to move it down the field and put it into the end zone using both the ground game and the passing attack. And the pass plays really moved the ball well this last drive. Some dump passes to Wilson out of the backfield and also a big pass to Schumacher for a first down out near midfield. Really got him jump-started on that drive. Here's Courts with his third kickoff of the evening. On the way, low line drive kick that will bound to be fielded at about the 4-yard line by Lehman. Lehman now cutting back up across the field, and there's Taylor coming downfield, and Lance gives him a nice necktie tackle at about the 16-yard line. Lance was barreling in on him and wasn't going to let him get away on that one.
Yeah, once again, LT coming down on the special teams, and he is like a man possessed when he gets on the special teams, as he is usually one of the first guys down there on every play.
Lance had a broken arm? An arm injury of some sort midway through the season that I think kept him out of the Central Catholic game, and he's had to wear a cast, and that's kind of hurt his role as far as being an offensive receiver, an opportunity to play that position as much as he was early in the year, but he's trying to make up for it as much as he can on special teams.
He's a great tackler on special teams.
From their own 16, Eureka, who put an impressive drive together last time from their own 12, will try it again. And Roki will try the right-hand side, still pushing, good push, but the Maroons had it pretty well surrounded. And not a lot of yardage, 2 or 3 yards, but it took a while before the Maroons could finally put him down. Obviously a very strong young man.
Yes, definitely, and it looks like Eureka likes to go to that left side there, or right side, I'm sorry. for their side of the line, but I'm sorry, Larry.
Got the right hand, left hand. Let me help you with that a little bit.
But it looks like they like to go to that right side, kind of like the Maroons do, so it'll be interesting to see where they keep on running.
He only got 2 yards on that particular play. That's near the 18-yard line, where it will be 2nd down and 8. We're down to half a minute to go in the first quarter. Clinton is leading 14-6. They'll send a man in motion and then give it to him, and I believe that's Kaufman, isn't it? He tried the middle, got a few yards across the 20, or was that Roki? I don't know. I'm having trouble picking up those numbers. They're making it too difficult on me. It's probably not that difficult if I watch these guys all year. But the bottom line is it's a gain out to about the 22-yard. I was right. See, the PA announcer was wrong. I was right for once. 4-yard gain for Kaufman on the final play of the first quarter. When we come back, it'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up for Eureka. But the first period is history. Mike Craig has made the trip with us again tonight. Mike, sorry, we don't have your sideline microphone. I see Ryan Conley's dressed over there on the far sideline, but they haven't let him tiptoe onto the field yet.
No, I don't think they probably will tonight. But, boy, does that 74 pull and block now, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I haven't been able to watch it as closely as you have because we've been watching the ball, but you must be talking about Joe McLaughlin. 6'5" and 300 pounds is what they have him listed at for Eureka.
Well, he's pulling, and he, what's his name, 38, steps right in behind him.
That's
and
Luke
stays
Roque.
right behind him, boy. That's a nice play.
That's their offense. That's at least the majority of it, I suppose. That's what makes them go, and they put together a good opening drive against us there the first time they got the football.
Yeah, it looks like we could
Second
stop
time,
this
actually.
time.
Well, a little better situation. At least we have a 3rd down and 4 coming up this time, where they picked up those first downs pretty quickly. Offensively, the Maroons have moved the ball pretty well.
Yeah, the option's going to work pretty well, it looks like. Nate seems like Nate's going to keep it, but on that last pitch to Idris, well, that went right down the sideline. I thought he might score.
Bob and Nate seem to be tuned in more to each other this week. You know, they haven't got to work together too much, but this week maybe some practice time and it's helped.
Yeah, I think Idris might be a little bit faster than Ryan. I don't know for sure, but, boy, he looks like he turns the corner pretty quick.
Well, we don't lose a whole lot there with his ability, that's for sure. 3rd down and 4 now for Eureka. They're at their own 22-yard line. We'll have a little better angle at it this time. And they'll pitch it. They'll get around the corner. Schumacher dives for the tackle, but can't make it. And it looks like they got the first down on the option left out near the 30-yard line. We'll see exactly where they spot it. Kaufman got the pitch, and it gave him all the way out to about the 32 or 33-yard line of Eureka. First down for the Hornets.
It was a good play as they ran the option there. Kaufman just did a nice job. He got around that corner, and he just broke it loose, and it looks a lot like Monticello's rushing attack against us when they could kick it outside, and that's really what's happening.
That sends shivers up my spine. That was a 49-point attack against us. Of course, there was 2 kickoff returns, a fumble picked up and run in for a touchdown, a fake field goal for a touchdown, and all kinds of crazy things happened in that ball game. I don't want another one like that. 1st and 10 now. They'll try it up the middle again. A good, solid tackle by the Maroons that time, and I believe it was Roque who got the call, Luke Roque, and they hammered him down pretty good after a 2-yard gain right at the 35-yard line.
And a bunch of guys got in there in the middle there. Nate got in there. Jeff Wilson got in there. And Big Dave and Casey had his arms around him. That's the gang tackling they need to bring down Roque.
That's a good point by Mike, though, and he pointed out Joe McLaughlin. We hadn't talked about him. 6'5", 300 pounds. You don't see too many guys that weigh 300 or stand that tall, for that matter, on an offensive line in high school football.
Oh, yeah, and that obviously gives them an advantage.
And they've used it to win 6 ball games so far this year. They'll try the option again. The pitch is back pretty deep. Kaufman got it, but that time there was good penetration by Wes Graves, and that gave, I think, Jeff Wilson time to get up there and make the tackle, or maybe somebody else, but it was Graves that slowed him down initially and forced him to lose 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, that was a big-time play by Wes as it forced him to slow up and also try to kick it outside. And as you said, it did give Wilson time to pursue, and that's the type of tackling you need, the follow-up tackling. And that's also what they did so well last week and against Sullivan.
3rd down and 10. Last week was Argenta. 2 weeks ago was Sullivan, but that's okay.
I said and Sullivan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said last week against Sullivan. I wasn't listening clear enough. My fault. 3rd down and 10 for Eureka at their own 33-yard line. Not the first time I haven't listened to you, Joe. They'll option it the other way this time. Roque keeping it. Adam Roque. Maroons trying to wrestle the ball away from him. They better tackle him. It looked like Schumacher was trying to strip the ball away from him, and he got very close to getting the first down as he just kept running with the football. And the Maroons did not wrap him up and tackle him, and I think he got the first down. He got a very good spot.
Yeah, just you explained it exactly. I mean, they had him wrapped up for only a 5-yard gain, and then it looked like they tried to strip the ball away instead of putting him on the ground, and he just fought for 5 yards.
That's just my opinion, but that's what it looked like to me as the play was unfolding. It looked like we were trying to strip the ball away and not really concentrating on making the tackles. We had Adam Roque surrounded, the young junior quarterback for Eureka on that play. It brings up a first down and 10 at the 43-yard line of Eureka for the Hornets. They've got another drive going. The Maroons had a chance with a 3rd and 10 a moment ago. On first down, Roki tries the left-hand side, but boy, they bury him again right at the line of scrimmage. Josh Wilson was there to make the tackle, and I think Ross Wantley was in the vicinity and some others, and very little gain on the play that time.
And Bobby Igems also came up from his safety spot to help out. And, you know, the Eureka doesn't look to have much success up the middle, so maybe the Maroons do a little bit job getting it to the outside better than they can stop Eureka's play.
And why not gamble, you know, play that run. Don't worry about that pass play too much. They did try one pass on their opening series, and Schumacher intercepted that one, but apparently they haven't thrown the ball much this year. So I would say bring him up there and let's knock it down. Little reverse action again. Kaufman gets the call. Sams was there and stayed with it, grabs him around the ankle. Kaufman did get it across the 45. Sams grabbed him at the line of scrimmage and just held on to the ankle as Kaufman fell forward for about 4 yards on the play. So another 3rd down play for Eureka as they approach midfield. They're at about their own 47. They've got a 3rd down and 6.
And Nate is getting very involved in that defense. He has been around the ball all night. I've seen him get up and out of piles, and that's something he's been on the defense for a few weeks now, but I think he's getting more involved tonight.
He's been wanting to get more and more involved, and the coaching staff has given him that opportunity, and he's helped the Maroons improve their defense significantly from the middle part of the season. 3rd down and 6 now for Eureka at their own 47-yard line. The lone back is Luke Roki in the backfield. They line up one wide receiver to the left-hand side, a couple of slot men. They fake the Roki. Adam Roki rolling out right, dropping deep, wanting to throw. Fires it deep downfield. He's got a man down there, but it's through his hands and incomplete. Ijem stumbled a bit on the coverage and fell well behind. And Jeff Brady, their senior co-captain, 6'3", 190, a tight end, had it go right through his hands near the 20-yard line, or he probably would have scored 6.
Oh, yeah, definitely, as you said. But it was a nice job by Dave Lemmel breaking through the line. He's the one that put the pressure on Roki, making him put it up for the wide receiver. I can't remember his name.
Brady was the receiver,
okay.
Jeff Brady. And, you know, I was talking about bringing him up there. I think the Maroons were playing the run, even though it was 3rd and 6, and Eureka did try to pass and had the Maroons burn a little bit. Again, I think Ijem stumbled a bit on his coverage. On 4th and 6 now, they are in punt formation. Let's see if they actually do kick the ball away. Snap back to the kicker. A little rush by Earl, but the kick is away, and it's a good boot as Schumacher makes the catch near the 16-yard line. He's to the 20-yard line, and it brought down near the 24, 25-yard line, and the Maroons will take over on offense. There's 8:24 to go in the second quarter of play. It's an 8-point lead for Clinton, 14-6, and Clinton taking over now with their defense, finally making a stop here on Eureka.
And it wasn't the prettiest defensive stop you'll see, but it's effective, and it gives Clinton's offense a chance to run time off the clock, keep the change moving, and hopefully put another successful drive together.
Okay, I think they got a momentary delay in the ball game here as the scoreboard had a little bit of a problem during that punt, but I think they've got it squared away. The PA announcer letting the officials know hold the play up for just a moment before the Maroons bring it up to the line of scrimmage. They will bring it up to the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. When we resume play here in just a moment. The offense so far on their first couple of series have moved the ball rather easily down the field. As Mike, when he was up here, mentioned, he went back downstairs to watch the game some more, get something to eat or something, I guess. But anyway, as he mentioned when he was up here, it appears that option is working pretty well against Eureka tonight.
Definitely, and especially to the right side, I think Dave, Casey Hicks, and Ryan Schumacher supplying nice blocks for Nate, and that's what has given him that 35-yard touchdown run, and also Ross Wantlin on that QB keeper at the goal line.
They correct the time. It's down to about 8 minutes to go in the ball game. The handoff goes to Wilson up the middle, and they grab him right at the line of scrimmage. Jeff Wilson not able to get very much on that first down play as he brings it up close to the 25. They're going to stop him, actually marking back at the 24-yard line, so no gain, if any, on the play for the Maroons. 2nd and 10 coming up.
And they tried to run it up the middle, and Josh Knapp was there. That's his territory, and he is a big player for Eureka. And he is one of their best defensively, and he is one of their leaders.
Van Fossen goes wide to the left-hand side. Queer goes wide to the right-hand side. Wilson, Ijem split in the backfield, and Sams wants to throw. Looking over the middle, lost it up high in the air, and Schumacher gets tangled up with Luke Roki, and a penalty will be thrown on the play. It actually looked like Schumacher ran into the back of Roki, and might have been incidental contact, but the officials throw the flag in the vicinity of where the two players stumbled to the ground, and the ball went well over their head, and we'll see if this penalty stands up. It would appear it's going to be pass interference against Eureka, although even I would question that call, even being a Clinton Maroon fan in this situation and having the upper hand. But that's going to be the call, it looks like.
It's definitely a tough call, as it just looked like the two players got their legs tangled up, and both players tripped, and it was hard to see what Roki did wrong there.
You know, I went to the U of I game last Saturday during my week off from work, and I saw a pass thrown by Johnny Johnson that, or excuse me, it was thrown by Iowa, and Illinois was called for pass interference on it, and it was well over the head of the intended receiver, but one of the other officials overruled the official that threw the flag when he realized that there was not a chance for that ball to be caught. But apparently in the mind of the officials here, there was a chance for that one to be caught. So the Maroons get a first down out at their own 39-yard line in the pass interference call. They try to make a little opening up the middle. Wilson crashes into it and gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line, a gain of maybe 2, maybe almost 3 yards on the play. And we have another flag, I guess, on this play, according to the others here in the booth.
And it will go against...
Face mask penalty against Eureka. And they're getting hit with some big penalties here now. The pass interference, which was questionable, and now maybe in a little bit of frustration, one of their players grabs a hold of a face mask and gets called for a 15-yard face mask penalty, and this drive being helped by Eureka for the Clinton Maroons has pushed Eureka back. Clinton's now at the 43-yard line of the Hornets.
Oh, yeah, and with those two penalties, it's put the Maroons, it gives them 35 yards, and now they're, as you said, in Eureka territory, so they're definitely helping them along here, and maybe the Maroons can go 3 for 3 on offensive drives.
At the 43-yard line of Eureka, 1st and 10 for the Maroons. A quick pitch it. Idgens will try to get around the right-hand corner. He's forced pretty deep, but he cuts it up the corner, and it gets knocked out of bounds near the 40-yard line, maybe the 39-yard line. And the Eureka coaching staff is really giving the officials an earful here. Very, very upset. And, you see some irate coaches during the course of a season, but this one ranks up there very high.
Oh, yeah, he is definitely giving the referee all it's worth.
A gain of almost 3 on the play. 2nd and 7. The Maroons are at the 40 of Eureka now with a 2nd and 7. We're down to 7 minutes to go before halftime. Clinton is leading 14-6. They've scored both times they've touched the football, and they're driving again. Schumacher, Queer come wide to the left-hand side. Sam's option left, cuts it upfield. They gave him a big gap. He's inside the 30, breaks into the clear. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Nate Sam's is his 3rd touchdown of this ball game. And the Maroons lead now is a couple of touchdowns.
Just amazing. Nice run by Nate. And not only offensive line there, but Jamie Queer supplied a nice block on his wide receiver position. And Nate, he just broke past the line of scrimmage and then broke. That looked like one secondary guy for Eureka had a shot, but he fell down, and then he was gone.
I know the Eureka coaching staff wants to blame that one on the officials, and yeah, that pass interference penalty hurt. But the Maroons then taking advantage of a face mask penalty against Eureka. Certainly no fault of the officials there, and then doing it on their own with Sam's finding a big gap and just showing exceptional quickness, running right through the secondary. When there, it looked like they could close on him and knock him down. He just runs right through him and runs away from him. Here's Courts trying for his 3rd extra point. Placement's down. The kick is on the way. Has plenty of distance, and it is through the uprights and good again. 6:51 to go before halftime. The Maroons in control by a couple of touchdowns right now. The scores will take timeout as Clinton 21, Eureka 6. With 3 touchdown runs tonight, a 35-yarder, a 2-yard quarterback sneak, and a 40-yard touchdown run. Nate's having a great night tonight, and the offensive line doing a great job in front of him, too.
Oh, yes, they're just great blocking. And this year, it has looked like Nate's role a little bit has diminished from the last year, but he's definitely picked his game up in the absence of Ryan Connolly.
Carl Courts with another kickoff, this time kicking toward the north goal. And Eureka has Luke Roki, who they've kicked away from so far, and Greg Lehman standing deep at about their own 5. Courts sets this one high in the air, and Lehman, the up man, at about the 17. He's to the 20, slips and falls down, and goes down, and the Maroons celebrating good coverage again on this one, as they only have it at about their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10.
And it was a great hit by the Maroons right there, as he caught that ball, went 5 yards up the field, and then was just hammered. Nice play.
Looked like he was trying to make a cut and start to slip and go down at the same time, but you're right, the Maroons with the good coverage, and they seem to have... They seem to be awake out there here in the first half of this ball game, something that they weren't totally there in the first half of the ball game last week against Argenta.
And I think a little bit of the similar situation happened here. They got an early turnover, got some points on the board,
quick score,
and might have got a little bit too confident early. But then after that Eureka drive, they've knuckled down and
not necessarily, consciously complacent out there, but kind of subconsciously got a little complacent, thinking, boy, this is going to be easy as quickly as we intercepted and then went in and scored. But they have bounced back now, and they put 2 more scores on the board and lead 21-6 on the first down play. Eureka finds a little opening. Luke Roque grabbed by David Lemmel by the shirt sleeve, slowed him down enough that Wes Graves was able to come up there and make the tackle. David Lemmel had a hold of him first and slowed him down and held him to, well, it's a 6-yard gain, though, on the play.
And that looked like that play against Olympia here at the beginning of the season when he had him one arm and was just holding on. And he had him for a long time with just that one arm before Wes came to polish him off.
Yeah, I tell you, Roque's a very strong young man. He's shown that the way he runs the football to be holding on to by his tail of his shirt. And that's exactly what he was doing for a while there. He finally had to let go, but the Maroons were able to put him down. It's second down and a short 4 coming up now for Eureka at their own 40. And Roque gets the call again, and he's hammered right at the line of scrimmage and buried. Casey Hicks was there. Nate Sams came up to help out on the tackle, and David Lemmel in the vicinity, and others. Jeff Wilson was there, and it was just a wall he ran into that time for no gain. 3rd and 4 coming up.
But Casey Hicks was the key to that play as he drove the offensive lineman back into Roque, and that just stopped the run right there.
We're past the halfway point of the second quarter. We're down to about 5.5 minutes to go before halftime. Clinton is leading 21-6 in a must-win game tonight for both these teams. But, of course, we're most concerned about the Maroons. They need the win to go 6-3 and make the playoffs. Option. They'll pitch it. Kaufman trying to get around the corner. Schumacher runs him out of bounds. There's a flag behind the play, so we'll wait and see what the penalty is, too. But it appears Kaufman run out of bounds by Schumacher. A loss on the play of about a yard or 2. No first down. And on top of that, they'll be called for a hold. The Maroons will probably decline the penalty and force our Eureka to punt the football.
And that was a nice job by the Maroons on defense of the option there as they strung it out to the sidelines. And once you get it moving laterally instead of forward, it makes it ineffective.
For those of you listening to the live broadcast on the radio tonight, our final regular season halftime interview with one of the Maroons seniors. And who'd you talk to this week?
I talked to Jamie Queer, who got in on that reverse play.
And got some good positive yardage a while ago on that one. He plays a lot of offense for the Maroons and a big special teams man, too.
And he also comes in the secondary and plays defense as well. He is, as you said, one of the special teams guys, and he's usually one of the first down there on the field.
So that'll be coming up at halftime here on the radio. That's still 5 minutes, 18 seconds away at halftime. The penalty declined by the Maroons, a hold. It was a loss of about a yard on the play on the tackle by Schumacher on the option pitch to Kaufman. So they will be in punt formation here in just a moment. They take time breaking huddle, though. The line of scrimmage is the Eureka 29-yard line, and the Maroons will drop 2 men deep. It looks like Igems and Schumacher dropping back to about their own 35-yard line. Schumacher at about the 37 or so, awaiting this kick. And they'll get it with less than 5 minutes to go in the ballgame. Time for the Maroons maybe to put one more drive together and open up a 3-touchdown lead at halftime.
Yeah.
If they can, they've scored all 3 times they've touched the football so far.
And if it's an average kick, they should have good field
It's a
position.
fake. Wait a second. Now he'll kick it. He started to run with the football, then booted it away. The Maroons will let it roll, and it'll get a good roll. He ran out of the pocket and then kicked the football. The ball is downed at about the 34-yard line, so that's an effective punt for Eureka. It keeps the Maroons from getting any run back.
It's a nice punt, but it's also a good field position for the Maroons, and as quickly as their offense can get the ball down the field, I would not be surprised if they could put up another score on the scoreboard.
I know I was hoping for a little better field position, but certainly starting at their own 34 is nothing to be too upset about with 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Clinton leading 21-6 and with the football again. And Nate Sams awaiting the officials to say the scoreboard is all squared away, I think. That's what we're holding up play for just a moment. 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. They're pointing in the vicinity of the scoreboard, I think. I don't know. A little discussion on the field. And now he's talking to Chuck Nagel a little bit, clearing something up over there. Right now, the clock says 4 minutes, 26 seconds to go before halftime. And now they're up to the line of scrimmage. Maroons with the football. Sams, option right, waiting, still holding the football, still running with the football. He's across the 40, 45-yard line and cut down near midfield. It'll be a first down for the Maroons, and Nate could just hang on to that football all he wants so far, the way Eureka's covering this option.
It was a nice run by Nate. What keyed it? Once again, lead block by Jeff Wilson. He polished off the tackler that it was the line of scrimmage, and after he got past that, it was the Eureka secondary, the nearest tackler.
I can only remember, and I probably forgot a play or two, but I only remember one time that Nate's pitched so far, and it was a very effective one to Igems down the left sideline a couple of drives ago. But the rest of the time, he's been able to run in the wide open spaces out of this option. From their own 49-yard line, Maroons 1st and 10. And Sam's, well, they gave it up the middle, but there's a loss on the play as a delayed handoff, I believe, to Wilson. And it was Igems, and he stopped for a 2-yard loss on the play. A big defensive play there for Eureka, trying to get them reignited.
And Knapp once again with a big play up the middle for Eureka, but that was kind of a slow developing play by the Maroons, and it really was over before it started.
They're back to their own 47 with a 2nd down and 12 coming up, and the clock running down to 3:45. Plenty of time for the Maroons to do something here. Schumacher, Queer come wide to the left-hand side. It's Wilson and Igems in the backfield. Wilson gets the call, brings it up the middle, and gets it out to midfield. Maybe just into Eureka territory across the midfield stripe. It'll be 3rd down and long, though, for the Maroons, like a 3rd down and 9 call coming up, it would appear, near midfield.
Oh, yeah, and I would definitely look for Schumacher here.
Why?
Well,
Why? Just because we've thrown to him so many times in situations like this. Is that why?
And just because his hands seem to have stickum and he catches everything.
It seems that way. He's had a heck of a year catching the football for the Maroons. On 3rd down and 9, Sam's dropping straight back. Has some time. Rolls out of the pocket. Lost it high in the air. Schumacher's open 35. 30-yard line. Slips and falls down at the 30s. He wanted to make a cut, or he would have had some more yardage. But as it stands, it's an easy catch and a 1st down for the Maroons. Nice looping pass by Sam's over to the defender, who had given Schumacher a lot of room out there.
Schumacher made a nice play as he came all the way over from the right side, tight end position, to come to the left side of the field. And as you said, a nice job by Nate. He led him well, and if he doesn't slip, he gets more yardage than the 20-yard gain he already had.
The clock is down to 2:45 to go before halftime. Clinton on a drive. They're at the 30 of Eureka now. Out of the I formation, Sam's faking the handoff, rolling out right, wanting to throw. Lost it downfield. It's a wobbly one, and short of his intended receiver, Jamie Queer down there. Fielded on a bounce by a Eureka defender, but that one didn't have enough mustard on it. He threw it on the run, rolling out to his right.
Nate didn't have that foot planted. He just didn't have enough to get down there. But it was a nice pattern by Jamie, but it looked like Eureka had it covered. It looked like they had 2 guys on him.
And pretty good coverage as there were 2 wide receivers out in that vicinity. The pass intended, as you said, for Jamie Queer, but it dropped to well short and incomplete. So 2nd and 10 for the Maroons at the 30 of the Hornets, with the clock stopped at 2:35 to go before halftime with the incomplete pass. This time, Queer and Shane Van Fossen go wide to the right-hand side. And Sam's rolling out right, being pursued from behind, running with the football, pitches, Igems has it. He's got the 1st down and knocked out of bounds inside the 20, down about the 19-yard line, and there's a flag on the play, and this one may come back. A flag thrown about the time the tackle was made, or even shortly after, but let's wait and see. It's thrown near the 20-yard line where the tackle was made.
Yeah, and if it is...
And it's a clip against the Maroons, according to Luke Roque out there of Eureka.
Well, it did negate a great play by Nate, though, as he waited till he was almost tackled, then he made a pitch to Bobby.
All right, the penalty will bring this run by the Maroons back. A clip out in the vicinity of where Igems was run out of bounds. Sam's, again, with great timing on his pitch. Being tackled, being held onto, and got it to Igems and Bobby with great concentration, catching that ball. It's good to see the timing really good between those 2 guys here when they haven't played that much together in game situations.
And really, there's been a crispness to the option play.
What? Thanksgiving? What holiday are you talking about?
There's been a nice job of timing, okay? Because
okay.
It hasn't at points it hasn't looked really well between Connolly and Nate, but with Bobby and Nate, it looks really well.
2nd and 15 for the Maroons. It's a 15-yard penalty from the point of the infraction, which was near the 1st down. Sam's supposed to throw deep over the middle for Schumacher. It's bobbled in the air, and he can't make the diving catch as he had 2 defenders right on him at the 10-yard line. The ball was thrown a little too late, a little behind him. He had to wait on it, and with Roque and another man there, I think Darren Kupperschmidt was in the vicinity, he would have had to make a juggling catch to pull that one in.
Well, there was no surprises for the Maroons offense there, as once again they threw to Ryan Schumacher as he came straight down the field from his tight end position on the right side. And he almost made a great play as he kept his concentration, and after that ball was tipped up in the air, he almost caught it anyway.
If he could have twisted his body in half, he would have caught the football. He trips to the right-hand side. On 3rd and 15, Sam steps out of the pocket. He's being pressured. He's going to be sacked back at the 40-yard line. Pursued from behind and grabbed by a couple of men, but the first one to get to him was Josh Knapp. And it's going to be 4th down and long for the Maroons, and for the first time tonight, it looks like Eureka has stopped the Maroons' offense.
Yeah, Knapp did a nice job there of pursuit. Nate didn't see him. It was a blindside rush, and Eureka stops Clinton, and that hasn't happened all night.
They're back to the Eureka 40-yard line. 4th down and 20 for the Maroons. I just want to watch this offensive formation as they line up for, I would think, a punt here. The clock is running down to minute 42, minute 41, and I think maybe the Maroons are even going to take a penalty here. Let the clock run down as low as they can and take the 5-yard delay of game penalty, and that's exactly what they do. There's the flag. It stops the clock with 1.5 minutes to go before halftime. Clinton is leading 21-6 as they vie for a playoff spot. They must win tonight. Eureka feels the same way, although they're 6-2 coming into this ball game. They feel like they need a victory, and by the looks of things, they do. They need a win and be 7-2 to get into the playoffs because their point total at 6-3 would not be high enough to get them into the field. So now the Maroons in punting formation. Nate Sams will punt it for the first time tonight. He's standing back at about his own 43, 44-yard line. And Eureka will bring a rush. Sams has time, gets the boot away. As usual, a high kick, but not a real deep kick. It'll get a Maroon bounce somewhat. It's heading toward the sideline, goes out of bounds near the 23-yard line. So Eureka, with 1 minute 21 to go before halftime, will have the ball at their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10. Now, tomorrow night, Joe, we have big plans. A playoff special program on WHOW-FM radio, and we hope people will tune in and join us as we're going to recap the season so far, have highlights of all the games, have you and me yelling and shouting as the Maroons pull out some of those last-second wins, replays of all that. And, of course, we'll be awaiting the announcement from the IHSA, if the Maroons win tonight here, of where the Maroons will be playing, who they'll be playing in the playoffs. And we'll get that word out to people just as soon as we can. Our playoff coverage, our playoff announcement coverage begins tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on WHOW-FM radio. Please join us, and we'll have a good time talking about that. We'll have interviews and lots of activities going on. We'll get Chuck Nagel on and talk to him about the situation once we find out who the Maroons are going to play. Roki carried him first down, got a 5, 2nd and 5 coming up. We're going to have Eric Black, the Maroa coach, on because Maroa is going to the playoffs too, and we'll talk to him about whoever he draws in the 2A playoffs and their situation. 1 minute to go in the first half. Looks like Adam Roki wants to pass under a lot of pressure and will be sacked way back at the 18-yard line. It was Jeff Wilson blitzing all the way that came in there and made the sack on the play, and Roki rolling out right, never had time to look upfield to throw the pass.
Jeff Wilson, just a great play there, and he made a nice job. It looked like Adam Roki might have been able to get away from him, but then he pulled him back down with that one arm and did a nice sack.
That stops the clock as Eureka takes a timeout here. I believe it was Eureka that signaled for the timeout. Wasn't watching that closely. 47 seconds to go before halftime, and Eureka will be faced with a 3rd down and now about 17 situation. They've got to get it out to the 33-yard line to get a 1st down. And with 47 seconds left, they might want to be a little conservative here. They are not a throwing team, nothing like Argenta. We sure saw the ball in the air a lot last week out of Argenta.
And, yeah, we did, and that was a great key play as it forces a 3rd and long situation. And for a non-passing team, that's pretty hard to convert.
Well, they've tried 2 passes so far in this ball game. The first one was intercepted, if I recall correctly. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Is it just 2?
Yeah.
And the second one went incomplete, although it was a good-looking pass down here about the 20-yard line that went right through the hands of the receiver and might have been a touchdown if he had pulled it in. But as it went for the Maroons, thank goodness Jeff Brady wasn't able to make the catch and let the ball get through his hands back there at the 20-yard line. Luke Roki had a great first drive. I think you told me during the commercial break. We didn't talk about it on the air. Had 60-some yards on that opening drive, or at least at one point very early in the quarter had 60-some yards, but he hasn't gotten too much as of late.
Yeah, at the end of the first quarter, he had 62, but right now he only has about 70-some, so the Maroons are doing a nice job.
Here's the 3rd down and 17 play, and Adam Roki will keep, finds a little bit of an opening, and then was that Shane Van Fossen in there on defense? No, that was Ryan Schumacher. I saw the 8, but I couldn't see the other number, and for a second I thought it was a 1, but it was a 0, so it was Schumacher, makes a good low tackle at the 23-yard line, and Clinton uses a timeout here. It's 4th down and about 10 coming up for Eureka, and Eureka's going to have to punt here with 37 seconds left, it looks like, and the Maroons want one last crack at the football before it's halftime.
Well, the Maroons have showed the potential to drive big numbers of yards in few seconds, and, you know, maybe they could do it here.
Well, it's been a good first half of play. The Maroons leading 21-6 at this point. The running of Nate Sams has contributed all 3 scores in this ball game for the Clinton Maroons. Again, if you've joined us late, the Maroons playing so far in this ball game without Ryan Schumacher. Ryan, who was injured last week and missed most of the whole second half and maybe even some of the second quarter last week against Argenta, could play. At least he is in uniform. He is dressed. He's on the sideline. but they want to hold him out if they can and save him for an important playoff game coming up, which, by the way, would be played a week from tomorrow. The playoffs don't start on a Wednesday night this year. That's why we started the season a week earlier. The playoffs will start a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, the coaches don't want to jeopardize Connolly's year right now by putting him in.
But that'll be good. He'll get an additional week of rest before that first playoff game if the Maroons can hold on here and win this one and get into the playoffs. Big rush, high snap, but the kick is away, a low line drive kick that will bounce near the 43. It's across midfield. Eijens will let it roll. It trickles by his feet and dies at about the 40-yard line. The low line drive punt didn't look like it would go for a lot, but it got an awfully good roll for Eureka. It rolled at about an additional 17 yards. And so the Maroons, oh, this is plenty of time. They're at the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line, 60 yards away, and they have 24 seconds. This is a piece of cake compared to what we've had earlier this year, right?
Yeah, no big whoop. I mean,
no pressure. It's not the end of the game. It's only the first half.
Yeah, 660 yards for this team in 20 seconds shouldn't be a lot.
I bet they'd like to give Carl Courts a chance to try a field goal. It's been a while since he's had a chance. Sam's rolling out, throwing for the short man. It's Queer, makes the catch at midfield. He's down at the 45-yard line, but goes down inbounds, and the clock will continue to run. Thank you very much. 14 seconds to go. They stop the clock while they bring the stakes up. I think there's a flag on the play, although I did not see the flags initially. The Maroons are up to the line of scrimmage at the 45-yard line. Where's the flag, Joe? I can't see it from up here.
Yeah, I can't either.
Well, the officials are going to have a conversation here. And it is a penalty against the Maroons because they're talking things over with the Eureka captain out there. That's too bad. That'll nullify a great catch by Jamie Queer, and he hasn't had too many opportunities this year to catch a pass, and he did a good job on that one.
Yeah, and, well, he's had a lot of long routes that, you know, they try to work it underneath the Schumacher, so he isn't the first guy, but he's doing a nice job, and he made a nice catch there, but it looks like it will be negated by the penalty.
Here, the flag's down here in the vicinity of the line of scrimmage on the near side of the field. I'm blind. So it's a 5-yard penalty against the Maroons, and now they're back at their own 35-yard line with only 14 seconds left to go before halftime. And this probably will be the final play for the Maroons. They might be able to get off one more, but it's down to 8 when they snap the football. Sam's dropping back, now rolling out right, lofting it deep downfield, and it's intercepted by Eureka and then dropped. The pass was intended again for Jamie Queer, this time down the right sideline, and then knocked down by Darren Cooperschmidt of Eureka. Looked like he had a chance to pick that one off near the 30-yard line, but he dropped it. And the Maroons will have one more play with 1 second left. Why don't we just kneel down and go to the locker room at halftime with this lead? Or, well, what the heck, let's try one more.
Okay, well.
What should we do here?
Coach Larry here, but...
I'll let Brian handle it. Brian does a great job. So let's see what Coach Knutson comes up with there on the far sideline. Sam sets him down. Spinning, dropping back. He's going to step up in the pocket, grab for a moment, then he'll have the ball knocked loose, and diving for it, it's still loose on the ground. Don't let him pick it up and run it in the end zone like Monticello did. I think Eureka might have recovered the football, but the clock runs out, and it doesn't make any difference. It is the end of the first half of play. We'll take a break at halftime. The halftime score, the Clinton Maroons 21, the Eureka Hornets 6.
Quality Glass and Trim wants to take this time to wish the Maroons the best of luck in their football season. Quality Glass is your complete glass sales and service center. Locally owned and operated, we repair storm windows and screens, replace auto vinyl tops and headliners. We handle all types of glass from desktops to windshields. All insurance work is welcome. Give us a call at 935-3120 or stop by 220 Northeast Street, Clinton. Quality Glass and Trim is proud to be a sponsor of the Clinton Maroons.
Back here at Eureka High School, Larry Dooling along with Joe Spencer. Mike Craig made the trip along with us again and talked with us a little bit, but he's downstairs someplace. They built a new facility here as far as the booth, and then also a couple platforms down below the booth for the video cameras and so on. Much improved when we were here 2 years ago, and we appreciate that. 2 years ago, it was much colder, Joe, and I was up here with Cameron, and Cameron went down on the field and took pictures almost the whole game. I guess it was warmer down there because it was cold and blustery, and the Maroons blew them out to 65-0, and it was a pretty one-sided and somewhat boring game. I think the officials are looking for somebody down here. Anyway, and I really appreciate the facility up here in the booth, and the weather's improved too, and that makes it a lot better here. So we got a much better situation this year. You're lucky to be along with me this year, Joe, because of the facility here, not because you're with me. Don't get me wrong on that. Anyway, and we're enjoying the Maroons leading here at halftime 21-6.
Yes, we are, and and the press built up the Sam's versus Roki matchup, and right now Nate has outgained Roki. 105 yards for Nate on with 3 touchdowns. He's doing a nice job. Roki has 76 yards, so after that first drive, the Maroons defense limited Luke Roki pretty good.
Made some adjustments, apparently, because they drove the ball 88 yards, using Roki most of the plays on that drive, went exclusively on the ground, and actually it was their second drive of the ball game. Their first drive resulted in an interception by Ryan Schumacher that set up the Maroons' first score. But they sustained a nice drive then right after that Maroons opening score, and drove it 80 yards and got the touchdown, surprisingly, out of Chad Cribbs. Cribbs got the call from 22 yards out and ran it in, and they were back within 1 point of us, 7-6, and it looked like it was going to be a tough, tight ball game. But the Maroons, with that option run, especially by Sam's, have been able to open up some breathing room so far in this ball game, and that's why we're at the 21-6 score. And as you said, Nate, with already over 100 yards. Is that what you told me?
105 yards.
That's not too bad. Again, the Maroons playing without Ryan Conley, but Bob Eigens has stepped in and has done a pretty good job at tailback in his place.
Yes, he's got 23 yards on 4 carries, so he's doing a nice job as well.
How about some more stats for us, Joe, while you have some time?
Well, Jeff Wilson also carrying the ball. He's got 19 yards on 5 carries. And Nate Sams is 3 of 7 for 42 yards passing. He's hit Ryan Schumacher for gains of 17 and 20 yards. For Eureka, Kaufman is their other big rusher. He's got 25 yards. But right now, the difference in the ball game, I think, is the fact that the Maroons were able to get off to that fast start and not turn over off that intercepted pass.
The Eureka Band, in case you haven't noticed, is on the football field right now and belting out some music. They are really belting it out here for the crowd. Let's run over the scoring plays real quick while we have a chance. The Maroons, Ryan Schumacher intercepted a pass on the 3rd play from the line of scrimmage by Eureka at about the 43-yard line, and then the Maroons moved it in with Nate Sams breaking a 35-yard option right to cap the scoring drive, and the Maroons scored only 2 minutes and 7 seconds into the ball game on that run by Sams. Carl Kortz's kick was good, 7-0 in favor of Clinton. Eureka came back on the following drive. It took 4 minutes, but they moved it down the field and scored with 5:30 to go in the first quarter plays. We said Chad Cribbs, a 22-yard run. Their kick for the extra point hit the right upright and bounded off no good, so it was 7-6 in favor of Clinton. Then Sam scored on a 2-yard quarterback keeper after the Maroons put together a nice drive of their own, some 76 yards or so, I think it was. Drove it the length of the field. Sam's a 2-yard quarterback keeper with 1:39 to go in the first quarter play, and the kick was good by Kortz, 14-6. That was our first quarter score. And then the Maroons got it back again on their 3rd possession. Again, drove it with the help of a couple of penalties. One, a pass interference penalty, which quite frankly was questionable, and then the other one was a face mask penalty. And Sam's then went 40 yards on an option to score his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. 6:51 to go before halftime. The kick good again by Kortz, 21-6 in favor of the Maroons. And that was the scoring, although the Maroons had another opportunity or two, but Eureka finally was able to slow down the Maroons' attack.
Yeah, and that's really the key for them, is they only shut down the Maroons 1 time, and they're going to have to improve that if they want to stay in this ball game.
Hey, Mike, come on over here. Mike Craig has ventured back up to the booth. Give me some of your impressions of this first half of play so far. The Maroons' defense looked a little shaky and gave up that first touchdown, but they've seemed to slow Roki down the rest of the way during the first half.
Yeah, they seemed to run a lot of traps and stuff, and they were having a little bit of trouble picking up the traps because he was the back there. He was falling right in behind that big tackle. Actually, both tackles or guards were pulling, and he was just falling in behind him, and he's short, and kind of hard to find, elusive. He really sees the field, and it bounces off of him, but he doesn't go down either.
Offensively, as we mentioned earlier, the Maroons don't seem to be having too much trouble moving the football, although they had a little bit more trouble lately. But obviously, Eureka's got to make some adjustments, and somebody's got to play Nate Sams to try to take him down and force him to pitch the ball some more, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Nate's got the option all night, but I hope they don't run it too much. I don't like to see him taking, any hits that he doesn't have to take. If we can get another touchdown or two pretty quick, maybe give somebody else a chance to play. And
bring McCleary in there and let him clean up the rest of the ball game. Certainly, if you feel like you're in position to win this one and be in the playoffs, you'd want to save some of your front liners. And still, we haven't seen Ryan Conley on the field yet. And as we said earlier, don't think we will.
No, I don't think we will. But another thing that I noticed was Nate is really stepping up there and made some tackles after that first drive. He's stepping up there and filling the hole and doing a nice job.
We just seem to have stepped up not just Nate, but our entire defense has stepped up our aggressiveness on defense the last few ball games, starting with Sullivan. You know, we're really starting with the second half of the Central Catholic game, which I don't think you got to see live, but you know, we were very sluggish in the first half of that ball game, and since that time we came out, we hit some people in the second half against Central Catholic, and I think we, for the most part, have carried it through the rest of the season, and maybe that's why we're going to make it in the playoffs after all.
Yeah, I think Eureka's, you know, pretty much a one-option team. If the run don't go for them, they're kind of in trouble. And I think our team has kind of realized that they're going to run and they're going to run. So go up and make the tackle.
We did catch one break though. They had a man open on that one pass play on a third down, and it went through his hands. Jeff Brady was open at the 20-yard line. It looked to me like Ijems had stumbled a bit while he was trying to cover him, and that's how he got away. And if Brady had caught that ball, it went right through his hands, and it was thrown well, they would be in the ballgame.
Yeah, I think Ijems, I looked, and he was there, and I looked at the quarterback, and he threw the ball, and he must have, I mean, just...
I think I saw him stumble a little bit.
He was right with him, and then I looked up again, and the man was open, went right through his hands. I don't know how he didn't catch the ball.
Well, hopefully the Maroons are only one half of football away from making the playoffs for the second straight year. We'll see very shortly. We're going to take a break here on radio, have our halftime interview with Jamie Queer, and on TV we'll be back with second half action very shortly. Our halftime score is Clinton 21, Eureka 6.
Joe Taylor is a senior partner in the law firm of Smith, Taylor & Johnson at 216 South Center in Clinton. Joe Taylor's experience includes trusts, estate planning, divorces, bankruptcy, taxes, and commercial litigation. Call Joe Taylor at 935-21834 for an appointment. Your legal needs are important and will be handled discreetly and with the highest priority. Best of luck to the Clinton Maroons for the upcoming season, and may the scales of justice tip in the favor of the Maroons.
All right, the most important half of football to date this season, about ready to get underway, and Eureka will be kicking off to the Maroons, Joe.
Yeah, this is what it all comes down to. You win this half, and you're in the playoffs.
Trying for the second straight year to get into the playoffs, the Clinton Maroons, and they're leading right now. Good long kick. That'll be taken by Ijems at the 6, 10, 15, 20-yard line. Caught from behind, spun down at the 21. Clinton will start first and 10 at their own 21-yard line. That was a good kickoff by Eureka. Drilled it pretty deep, and Ijems got about a 15, 16, 17-yard return on it.
And it puts the very potent Maroons offense on the field, coming into tonight, averaging over 27 points. Already having 21 in the first half. If they start off with this option and get pretty good yardage, it has to discourage Eureka.
Nate Sams went over toward the sideline. Brian Knutson met him a few yards onto the field, shouted out what he wanted him to do on this first down play. Nate takes it to the huddle, and now they're bringing it up to the line of scrimmage. Jamie Queer, the only wide out in this first down play, wide to the left-hand side, out of the eye. Sams, option right, has to pitch it. Ijems grabs it, but is knocked out of bounds. A loss on the play as he is buried on the track. And a loss of about 2 yards back to the 18-yard line. They ran it to the short-hand side of the field, and there was pretty good penetration along the line of scrimmage that forced Sams to pitch the ball. He wasn't able to move it up the field, and then he pitched it to Ijems, and Bob did a good job just gathering that one in.
Yeah, Eureka did a nice job. They tried to run behind the right side, which has been very successful tonight, but just as you said, Eureka collapsed the line and strung it out to the out of bounds.
So this is probably Eureka's season 2. They need to win this ball game. Here's Sams trying to go the other way. He's caught from behind and dropped for another loss on the play. So they obviously realize the situation. They've got to come out here and make the plays, and they are getting off to a great start here in the start of the third quarter. They've dropped the Maroons for a couple of losses on the first 2 plays. Sams lost another yard, and it's third down and about 14 now for the Maroons as they're back at about their own 17-yard line.
Well, Eureka is not going to roll over and die. I mean, they're playing for their season 2. They don't know for sure if they make it, if they lose. So they'd obviously want to win.
Not likely. Here's a quick pass. Nice catch made. And then Schumacher dropped the football. Will he rule that a catch? He had the ball temporarily and then took a solid hit. The ball came loose, and they're going to rule it a catch and a fumble. Schumacher had the football. He was well short of the first down. Then he took a solid hit. It came loose. And Eureka's come out here. They've made the play. They've got the ball at the Maroon 24-yard line after the fumble recovery. A solid hit led to that fumble by Schumacher.
Big play by Eureka, and as soon as Schumacher caught the ball, it looked like they jarred it loose. And now I expect Mr. Luke Roki goes into action.
From the 24-yard line of Clinton, first and 10 for Eureka. They have come right out here, and they have attacked the Maroons, and now they've got the ball on offense, and they'll see if they can move it in and get their second score of the ball game. They'll go right up the middle. A little bit of a carry out down to about the 21-yard line as Roki got the call on a quick opener right up the middle. They'll spot him back at the 21-yard line. 21, a pickup of 2, second down at 8 coming up for Eureka.
It was a good solid tackle once again by Casey Hicks on that line, and then when they've run up the middle, Casey has really done a nice job tonight stuffing that run.
We're just a little less than 2 minutes into the third quarter of play. Clinton is leading 21-6, but they have turned the ball over. And Eureka with the football. Adam Roque under center. Fakes the handoff, keeping the football. Stumbles and falls as he ran into the back of his blocker. The Maroons make pretty good penetration. I don't know who would get credit for that tackle, but Roque bumped into the back of his big lineman and then stumbled and fell down way back out there about the 24, just inside the 25. So they've got third down and really pretty close to 11 yards to go for a first down. So now the Maroons defense needs to make one more big play here, maybe 2 more.
It's a broken play as Roque looked to be open on the option, and then all of a sudden he just ran into his blocking and fell down.
Well, somebody was pushing that lineman back, obviously some, and making good penetration that forced it, but we didn't catch exactly who it was. Maybe on the TV replay people will be able to pick it up. They line up one wide receiver to the left-hand side, one lone back. They'll send a man in the motion. Roque gets a call. He's driven down from behind, grabbed around and held on to and driven to the ground. And was that Ross Wantland that gathered him in and pulled him down, and then Josh Wilson helped out on the tackle? He got maybe 2 yards, but it's fourth down and a long 9 coming up for Eureka, and I would imagine they'll go for it. They're at the 23 of the Maroons.
And Mike Craig brought up a nice point. It doesn't seem like Eureka has a very effective passing game, and they went on a 3rd and long with the running play, so that's very...
They're bringing a tee in. They just tossed a tee into Ryan Sides, and they're going to try a field goal attempt, I think. And the tee is going to be spotted at about the 30-yard line in the middle of the field. This would be a 40-yard attempt. A late lineman getting into the ball game. Joe McLaughlin, will they have time to get the play off? And there's a flag. They took too much time, I believe. A delay of game penalty. That might take him out of field goal range. I don't know what kind of range. Now, excuse me, Sides is the holder. He's not the field goal kicker. So now if they decide to still go for it, it would be, what, a 45-yard attempt. This I have to see, Joe.
Yeah, well, I don't think they will. I think they're
yes,
going to...
they are.
Well,
they're putting that tee right down. It's going to be a 45-yard field goal attempt.
well, I'd watch out for the fake.
Maroons better beware of a fake here. Knapp is the kicker. He's a straightaway kicker right in the middle of the field, 45 yards away. The placement's down. The kick is well short. Will it get to the end zone? It dies short of the goal line. Pick up the ball. Pick up the ball. All right. The officials blow it dead. It was short of the goal line, and Igens was just standing over looking at it. And the officials blow it dead. And I guess they're going to rule it down at the 1-yard line. The Maroons will start at their 1-yard line.
Well,
I probably maybe should have picked that up and run it back because nobody was running downfield to cover it for Eureka either.
well, for field goal, it served as an effective punt as it is buried well inside Clinton territory. And now we'll have to work out of a little bit of hole.
You don't see field goal attempts very often. You certainly don't see field goal attempts that stop short of the goal line very often. That ball hit like at about the 15-yard line. He only carried about, what, 20 yards through the air?
Yeah,
and so I don't think anybody knew for sure what the call was on that particular play.
Yeah,
but they have ruled it dead at the 1-yard line, so Clinton has to start at their own 1-yard line. They've got to move it up the field here. 8:20 to go in the third quarter play. Clinton leading 21-6. On first down, Sams wants to throw. Rolling out left. Has time. Pops into the clear. Schumacher's got the catch at the 8-yard line. Puts his head down and is pulled out of bounds near the 8. He's about 3 yards short of a first down. That's a good play to get the Maroons away from the goal line.
Yeah, it definitely is. You want to get out of that goal line so they can't get a safety on you. And it was just a quick swing pass out to the sidelines, and it served its purpose. And it sets down a second short, so you can't either run or pass on this play.
Looks like it's closer to the 9-yard line, so it'll be second down and 2 for the Maroons. Wilson and Igens are in the backfield. I formation straight behind Sands. Sands slipped a little bit, but gets the handoff. Wilson, big opening up the middle. He's out beyond the 15 and goes down at the 18-yard line. About a 9-yard pickup for Wilson, and the Maroons have the first down and have it well out of the hole now, all the way out to the 18-yard line.
And that was a good run by Wilson, and this is encouraging out of the Maroons now. Eureka came out on defense, was very aggressive, got a turnover. Then the Maroons defense shuts Eureka down, and now Clinton's offense is driving. This has to look very good for Coach Nagel.
Eureka came out charged up and had some momentum, but the Maroons have slowed it down a little bit. Here's Wilson, another good first down carry. He gets it out close to the 25-yard line before he stumbles and goes down. That'll be another approximately 6-yard pickup and a 2nd and 4 going for the Maroons. And now it looks like our offensive line is starting to control the line of scrimmage a little bit, and we're running it right at him instead of trying to get it outside with the option like we did in the first half.
Yeah, and also Ross Wantland at center is doing a very good job on Knapp. He really isn't giving him too much.
Here's Wilson again, opening right-hand side. Across the 30, run it out of bounds at 33-yard line or so before the tackle's made by Roki. And Wilson back up a little slowly, but comes right back to his feet now. And Roki was standing over him just to make sure he was okay. It's a first down run for Wilson. They'll give him to the 34-yard line of Clinton. And this drive started at the 1, remember. The Maroons with 2 first downs.
And they're moving the chains, giving the ball exclusively to Wilson now. Doing a good job, and the offensive line is providing big enough holes for Wilson to go through, and he has shown the ability to carry the ball as he has done it in the second half in a few games this season.
And run the clock, boys, run the clock. It stopped at 7:20 when it went out of bounds. Here's Wilson trying the other way, and boy, they tangled him up that time and pulled him down. Probably a loss of a yard or two. They were running well to the right-hand side, but that time they tried to, to keep Eureka honest and run it to the left-hand side, but nothing doing. He stopped for a 2-yard loss, 2nd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. They tried to balance it out, but I think I'd go to the right side now again because it's been so successful.
2nd and 12 for the Maroons at their own 33-yard line. Sam spins, fakes the handoff, option pitch, got it to Igems at the last second. He's across the 35 and out of bounds near the 40, I think a little bit short. And there's a flag on the play as the tackle was made into the Clinton bench, and it might be a late hit on Roki over there.
I think it is because it looked like Bobby was out of bounds. We have a tough position
Player on
to
the far
call
side
it,
of the field, it's hard to tell where the sideline exactly is, but they were crashing into the legs of the players along the bench on the Clinton side over there.
Yeah,
that's the call, a personal foul against Eureka for the late hit out of bounds. And there was close to one here on this side of the field a little bit earlier, although it wasn't, but it might have had the officials thinking about it a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep this game in hand, but the penalty does another good thing for the Maroons. It puts them either close to or in Eureka territory.
Yeah, they're in Eureka territory with where they're marking it off. Where the infraction took place, it's a 15-yard penalty, and Igems have picked up 5 yards on the run in addition, so they pick up 20 yards on the play. 5 by rush, 15 by penalty, and they're at the 46-yard line of Eureka as they move toward the south goal here at this north-south field at Eureka High School.
And Igems has looked very sharp on that option.
I tell you what, the timing has been excellent between he and Sams, and they've had some nice last-second pitches, and Bob's handled them very well. Here's Wilson again, the right-hand side. Got it down inside the 45 to about the 44. And a gain of about 3 more yards. Wilson picking up some yardage here in the third quarter play. They've called his number several times on this drive.
And Wilson, he might not make all the fancy moves. He might just be a straight-ahead runner, but I'll take him as he goes like a battering ram, and I've seen plenty of time where he's made linebackers bounce off of him.
2nd and 7 coming up for the Maroons as we approach the halfway point of the third quarter. Clinton still leading by that same score as it was at halftime, 21-6, but driving with the football at the 44 of Eureka. Sam spins, hands it off Wilson, trying the left-hand side. Again, they gather him in there at the line of scrimmage and throw him back. But the forward progress will get him back to the line of scrimmage after they untangle that one and shove him all the way back beyond midfield and actually strip the ball away from him, but well after the whistle had blown.
Well, it was a good job of tackling by Eureka as they didn't give Wilson any holes, but, the extracurricular activities really...
I tell you what, we can't seem to run to that left-hand side too effectively. We can run to the right. If we can get to the right of the big 74, we seem to be okay. But when we run to that left-hand side, it's tough going. 3rd and 8 now for the Maroons. Sams, option right, has to cut it upfield, cut from behind and spun down. Maybe a yard gain on the play as he was caught around the ankles and dumped by Matt Roki.
Yeah, Roki having a nice play, and he's also one of their leaders on defense. I talked with Coach Joe Ryan of Eureka, and he said he would be a big player for them as well.
Well, an effective drive by the Maroons, even though it appears they're going to pump the football here on 4th down and 7. Sam standing at his own 45-yard line. It started at their own 1. They got it into Eureka territory before they have to kick it away, and they ran some time off the clock. Here's a snap back to Sams. Has time. Gets the boot away. This one's going to go a little deeper than normal, but will be bouncing at the, 15, inside the 10, and the Maroons will finally down it at about the 9-yard line. And Eureka will start 1st and 10 at about their own 9 with 4:44 to go into third quarter of play. Again, Clinton with a 2-touchdown lead of 21-6.
And let's hope the Maroons defense keeps doing their nice job. As they came out, they stopped Eureka in a pretty tough situation, getting the ball in Clinton territory to start. So let's hope now that they're pushed back deep into Eureka territory that they can make a stop and give the offense pretty good position to try to finish off Eureka.
just inside their own 10. First and 10 for Eureka. Roki will get the call. Right-hand side as a whole. Gets around the corner. Item grabs him around the ankles and brings him down, but that's going to be a quick, almost 10-yard gain for Roki. He got an opening on the right-hand side, and then Ijams had to chase him down in the secondary, and he'll be very close to a first down at about the 19-yard line of Eureka.
And that's a big play by Ijams, as if he doesn't get him by the ankles, it looked like he could be gone as he gets that acceleration going, and I don't know if anybody could have came over from the other side of the field to tackle him.
Inches short of the first down. It'll bring up a second down and maybe a half yard to go for a first down near their own 19 for the Hornets. Adam Roki, the young quarterback, will spin and hand it off again, and pushing for appears to be very close to first down yardage is Roki, although he's dropped right there at the 19-yard line. But they didn't need a whole lot, and it looks like he's got enough. Well, they'll stop the clock for a moment, though, and look it over. And the official then will step behind the ball and look at it, and he's going to have him measure it.
But
that was a second down play, so they still have a third down coming up if they don't get the first down here.
It appears to me that the Maroons and Eureka are pretty similar here. As, both like to run to the right side, but they go to the left side, and it's kind of a different story.
Yeah, the yards come a lot tougher, don't they?
And Casey Hicks is doing a great job on Roki when they go to the left side of Eureka's line, right side Clinton defensive line.
That is close, but it is a first down. It took them a long time to finally signal, but apparently the nose of the football just far enough to give Eureka the first down. They're at their own 19-yard line with a first and 10, with the clock down now to 3:42 to go in the third quarter of play. If you're joining us late, Clinton has led the whole way, one time only by a 7-6 score, but right now they lead 21-6. And Eureka on the first down play at their own 19-yard line. Roki will hand it off, and that is Chad Cribbs, who scored the touchdown in the ball game for Eureka, getting some pretty good running yardage out beyond the 25 and up to about the 29-yard line, and again, very close to another first down. They're going to be just short by maybe a half yard or so.
It was a good run by Cribbs, but also, once again, I've been saying his name, but Casey Hicks came from his defensive line position and went off the line and made a nice tackle downfield.
Second down and a half yard for Eureka at their own 29-yard line. They put together a pretty good drive back in the first half of play for their only touchdown. They'll keep it on the ground as usual, and that's Lemmel trying to bring the ball carrier down, but not until it's a first down for Eureka. The ball carrier that time was Kaufman, and Kaufman got it to about the 34-yard line, a 5-yard pickup, and another Eureka first down.
Yeah, Big Dave caught a hold of Kaufman. They only needed a half yard, but they got a little bit more, but Big Dave spun Kaufman around, and he once again showed his strength.
Getting into the final couple minutes of the third quarter of play, but Eureka starting this drive at their own 9-yard line. They've moved it out to the 34, and on first and 10, they'll try the run in the middle again, then try to bounce it outside. And a couple of yards on the play, but not too much. You know, they have Roki in there, but then they also have Kaufman, and Roki wears 38, Kaufman wears 30, and we want to say it's Roki all the time, but we have to wait and make sure it's not Kaufman sometimes, because their numbers from way up here look very similar. That time it was Roki. He got maybe 2 yards on the play. They have second down and a long 8 coming up.
Yeah, they ran up the middle, and they ran into Dave Lummel, and he was just a wall. He didn't give Roki anything, and he stopped him where he was.
Eureka hasn't put the ball in the air too much at all in this ball game, just maybe 2 or 3 times, and without success, although they came close on one that was dropped. There's a hole on the side of the line, and Roki still on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles, and finally goes down near midfield. The Maroons hit him hard several times. It had him spinning around like a top, but he kept his momentum going. He's very slow getting up, but Roki has another Eureka first down. He gets up limping, but he got it to midfield, and they're going to have to stop play as he is having trouble staying on his feet, and that is not good news for Eureka. Their star back is hurting a bit.
Oh, definitely not. It doesn't even look like he can put pressure on that left leg.
Well, they hustle out there, and they will attend to him. We'll take a break here with the stoppage in play. A minute 44 to go in the third quarter of play. Clinton leading 21-6. Back with more in a moment.
Before or after the Clinton Maroons game, visit Clinton Subway for your favorite sub sandwich, complete with all the fixins. Open 24 hours a day, Subway's friendly crew is always on hand to satisfy even the most ferocious hunger with a wide assortment of delicious sandwiches and salads, chips, cookies, and your favorite soft drinks. Stop in at Clinton Subway, located at 511 East Van Buren, and check out their menu of breakfast items. Subway, a proud sponsor of the Clinton Maroons.
Larry Dooling along with Joe Spencer back here at Eureka High School. Here's our situation now. Eureka with a pretty good drive going, starting at their own 9-yard line. They just got a first down at midfield and another fine run by their back, Luke Roedke. But Roedke got back to his feet slowly, had trouble putting some weight on his, I think it was his left leg, wasn't it, Joe? Now he looks like he might get to his feet, but he's been on the field for quite a while. And we'll just have to wait and see how severe this injury is. It could be a real blow to this Eureka football team if he can't get back in there the rest of this ball game.
Oh, yes, this hurts them tremendously. And he had a nice 13-yard run, and then all of a sudden he couldn't get back up. And the crowd that was so loud and cheeringly just went silent. And obviously we know why. This is the example of Ryan Conley or Nate Sams for the Maroons, and it's obviously very serious.
Well, he's a franchise for them, really, when you get right down to it, for this high school football team. He got him to midfield on the first down, but they'll have to bring him out to the sideline and still attend to that leg. He did walk off under his own power. Here's Josh Wilson trying to make the tackle on Kaufman, the ball carrier, but he got about 3 yards on the play into Maroon territory to the 47-yard line. We're able to look right down here on the near sideline right in front of us and watch the trainer or whoever it is down there attending, and it looks like he's working on that left leg. And get the helmets off. It might be a while before we see him on the football field if he does get back into this ball game.
Yeah, and that's definitely a bad situation for Eureka. But on that last play, it was a nice open field tackle by Wilson.
Josh Wilson, that's right. Here's 2nd and 7. And fumble on the play. Players diving for the football. And who's got the football? A wild scramble, and they say the Maroons have the football. I'm not even sure who came up with it, but one of the Maroons came up with that loose ball. It looked like it squirted out of the hands of Chad Cribbs, and the Maroons have recovered the football at the 47-yard line. And again, you can see an example of the loss of Roedke obviously hurting Eureka there.
Yeah, and it was a big play for the Maroons. I think Dave's the one that jarred it loose. I'm not sure, but it was a good job. I don't know who recovered it either, but this is a big momentum breaker for Eureka.
All right, there's a discussion among the officials out there, and we're waiting to see if that call will stand up.
Yeah. Well, the discussion is about, I think there was an inadvertent whistle or something before the ball was recovered, and that would nullify Clinton's possession.
Apparently there's been an overruling. There was a whistle on the play, and they're saying that the ball was dead before it was recovered by Clinton because the whistle blew, and apparently Eureka will still have the football, but it'll be right there at that original line of scrimmage, the 47-yard line. But Chuck Nichols and Brian Knutson are out there and having a rather, well, strong conversation with the official right now. Let's put it that way about the situation. He obviously wants the football back, but I think this is going to be to no avail. They have overruled their initial call where they signaled the ball in favor of the Maroons, and they're going to give it to Eureka. And it should be, I believe, a 3rd down and 7 when they get this all straightened out, Joe.
Yeah, I think that's where they were. And understandably, Coach Nagel's a little upset, but it is the right call because I did hear the whistle before the play was over.
Should be about 3rd and 7 coming up because I believe that was a 2nd and 7 play, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Let's run the tape back. Get that tape. Where's that?
Well, on first
down
down,
to the camera right now.
On first down, they got the 3-yard run by Kaufman, and then that would have been 2nd down when they fumbled. So you're right, it would be a 3rd down.
Thank you, Joe. It's one of the few times you've agreed with me this year. It's very nice of you. You might grow up to be a fine young man after all.
For agreeing with you?
Well, Roedke down here, in the meantime, this stoppage of play has given him a chance without the game progressing to try to walk off this injury and see if he's going to be able to get back in the ball game. So that's good news for Eureka. And he has been on it and running around a little bit. Whether or not he'll be able to come back in, we don't know yet. But at least we can look down here and get a good view of what's going on down there. And they're doing everything they can to try to get him back into the football game. They have moved the markers back as they had moved him in position for it to be Maroon's ball. They put him back. Eureka's got to get to the Clinton 40-yard line to get a first down, and this is a 3rd down and 7 play coming up. Chuck Nagel is still wanting the chains to be straightened out here, I think. He's still talking to the official. And he doesn't like the placement of the chains, I don't believe. He thinks they should be a little farther along here.
And
there's 56 seconds on the clock for the 3rd quarter of play.
It will be a big play for the Maroons here. They stop Eureka, then they'll get the ball back.
All right, the young quarterback, Adam Roedke, is under center. has the football, spins, takes the handoff, tries to option it, gets hit and knocked down, and a very little gain on the play. Brad Earl was the one that made the tackle on the play, but had help from Jeff Wilson and others. Maybe a 1-yard gain on the play, and it's 4th down and 6 coming up at the 46-yard line of Clinton for Eureka.
And what helped those guys get to Roki is Nate Sams came in there and slowed him up but with the one arm. That kind of slowed him down. Then he was blocked out of the play, but the other guys came up and made a tackle. But once again, Nate is coming up and being big defensively and offensively tonight.
Eureka lining up in punt formation here. We'll see if they actually kick it away. Ryan Sides is their punter, has the ball. Earl with some pressure, but Sides gets the kick away. Igems will watch it bounce. It takes a little bit of a Clinton bounce at first and is grabbed and downed by Jeff Brady around the vicinity of the 20-yard line. The third quarter's run out. We'll see where the Maroons will get it when we come back as they reverse the positions on the field here. One more quarter to go. Let's see if the Maroons can get in the playoffs. Right now they lead Eureka 21-6.
Quality, value, and service. That's what you'll find at Ace Hardware and Gift Shop in Clinton. Let us help you find exactly what you're looking for in paints, hardware, and power tools. All your lawn and garden accessories with great buys on gas grills and mowers. From plumbing supplies and fixtures to all your electrical needs, we've got you covered. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, visit our unique gift shop for a great selection of everything from dinnerware to lead crystal and porcelain figurines. Remember, Ace is the place in Clinton with a helpful hardware folks.
All right, we go to the fourth quarter of play, Joe. The score's still the same, 21-6. And Clinton has the football at their own 20-yard line. It'd be nice to get a little bit of insurance here and put this game away if we can.
Well, the Maroons have been a fourth quarter team, but this time they don't have to be the cardiac kids.
Wilson, first down run to right-hand side, gets 7 out to the 27-yard line before he's caught from behind and pulled down. 2nd and 3 coming up very shortly here, and I'm just looking to see if Roki's gotten back in the ball game on defense here. He was along the sideline being attended to, and then I took my eyes off of him, and I don't see him. He was really wobbling on that leg a little bit. And have you spotted him? He's out there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's in the huddle, but we'll just double check and make sure. Yeah, he's checked in there at the safety spot. Roki's back in the ball game.
Oh, the player I saw was 36. Okay, I'm sorry.
38 is the magic number for Eureka. 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Maroons. They've got to get it out to their own 30-yard line to get a first down. So it'll be an interesting play call for the Maroons. What they'll do here, Sams will spin. He will option left. He will keep the football. He's cut from behind, spun down. He might have got the first down, but we'll have to wait and see. A good, strong, swinging tackle by Jeff Brady. But Sam's got the forward momentum and is very close to a first down. The officials will look at it, look across the field, and it is a Clinton first down, a 3-yard pickup for Sam.
Well, it was a nice tackle for Brady, but in the process, when he swung him down, he gave him the first down as well. So it kind of helped both teams there.
Almost 1 minute gone in the fourth quarter of play. Clinton leading 21-6. Trying to win their 6th game of the year and get into the playoffs with a victory here.
And their opponent now is really the clock, not Eureka, so they have to hold on to the ball.
Sams, option right, cuts it upfield. Met near the line of scrimmage, tumbles forward for about a yard or so. Very short gain on that play, and the gaps aren't there like they were earlier in the ball game for Nate on the option.
Yeah, Eureka's definitely stiffened up, and I think it's because Eureka has come to the realization if they don't win this game, they might not have another week. So that's a very good inspiration for them.
2nd down and 9 from near the 31-yard line for the Maroons. Sams hands it off. Wilson has a bit of an opening, then is met after about a 3-yard gain. I think he got up to about the 34-yard line. Maybe a 2-yard pickup or so on the play. Now the Maroons will have a 3rd down and maybe 7 call coming up. This will be an interesting call for the Maroons. They want to keep the ball in their possession, keep the clock running, keep moving the ball up the field.
Yeah, to keep the clock running, they might actually have to go to the pass. I don't know, or they could try to go option right. That's worked as well, but I'd look for Ryan Schumacher here.
No shock there. 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Or Wilson may get the call up the middle here on this particular play. Yep, and he was able to break a tackle at the line of scrimmage, but that slowed him down enough that he only got to about the 36-yard line. They tried to make it look like a passing formation and then tried to spring Wilson up the middle, and sometimes that works, but it didn't work on that play. Only got maybe a yard or 2, and it's 3rd down and 4 coming up, and the Maroons are at their own 36, so they'll have to punt the football with 9.5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, and Larry and I talked a little bit about that play before the game. It was the play.
Drive up here, didn't we?
It was the play that Connolly scored against Argenta, where they set up trips to to the outside and then ran it up the middle. They tried that one right there.
Sam's a high kick, not real deep. It's going to come down in the vicinity of the 45, takes a bounce the wrong way, the 50, and finally knocked down by the Maroons, but not till it goes back into Clinton territory at the 48-yard line. The ball bounced back about 7 yards. That's the thing about Nate's punts. They're awfully high, and you can get down and cover them, but they don't carry real far, and sometimes you get a bad bounce.
Yeah, that was a very bad bounce, and it only ends up being about a 10 or 11-yard punt.
Yeah, the line of scrimmage was the 36. It's a 12-yard punt, as it turns out. And so Eureka has life again. And Roke's back in there at the single back in the backfield. At the 48 of Clinton, 1st and 10. Adam Roke will hand it off. Luke Roke trying to right-hand side. Pummels his way down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line and got about 5 yards on the first down carry. 8:40 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, and fans might have been worried about him, but he definitely looked like the normal Luke Roke there.
I don't think he's totally normal. He's limping still a little bit, but he got his momentum going and ran well on that first down play. 2nd and 5 coming up at the 43 of Clinton. Clinton is leading 21-6. Trying to hang on to this 2-touchdown lead. Roke will hand off, and a little bit of an opening for Kaufman up the middle, and he's going to be close to a first down. He got close to 5 yards on the play, inside the 40 and close to the 38-yard line, and it is a first down for Eureka at the 38 of Clinton.
And now it's important for Clinton to stiffen up. If they stop Eureka here, then it stops Eureka's momentum, and it'd be tough for them to come back, but the defense has to stop them here.
8 minutes to go in regulation time here in the 4th period of play. We're still at the same score we were at halftime, 21-6 in favor of Clinton. Roke gets the handoff of the middle. That one was not a clean handoff, and it's bottled up by the Maroons, and no gain on the play. Adam Roke and Luke Roke ran into each other on the handoff, and that slowed down Luke Roke's momentum as he went into the hole.
Yeah, that slowed down Luke Roke, but also what slowed him down is once he reached that hole, Big Dave ran him back about 2 yards for a loss.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
And also
credit for those guys.
Also, Casey Hicks was in there, and he did a nice job as well. And after those two guys, a bunch of other guys jumped on.
Loss of about a yard on the play. It brings up a 2nd down and 11, back closer to the 38-yard line or so. And Roke, option, pitch, deep in the backfield. And a nice straight-up tackle by Nate Sams. And then he gets help from David Lemmel. Nate wasn't able to put him to the ground, but then had help on the play. But Sams held his ground and made a good, strong stick on Chad Cribbs, who on that play earlier in this ballgame ran for a touchdown and got good yardage on another carry. But that time, it's another 1-yard loss.
And Nate, once again, he's showing up on defense as well as offense. Also, Josh Wilson came in there and helped him out. And now it's a big play for Eureka here. They're not a very proficient passing team, but they might have to as it's 3rd and 12.
From the 40 of Clinton, it's 3rd down and 12. Will Adam Roke try to put it in the air? He'll fake the handoff. He'll option left. He'll pitch it. It's thrown back behind, pulled in, but there's a tackle by Nate Sams. Nate's all over the place, and he hammers Mike Kaufman to the ground for a big 7-yard loss on the play.
And once again, Nate Sams, just a tremendous play, and he has showed up tonight, folks, for the Maroons, both offensively and defensively, playing Iron Man football.
They spot him back to the 46-yard line, and Eureka's going to use a timeout. We're going to have to take a timeout also. 6:05. Clock's still running here. Are they going to stop the clock? About 6 minutes ago, there is not a timeout. I thought there was a timeout, but apparently, well, Clinton's out there huddling. Do we have a time? I don't want to go away until I know for sure. Eureka's coming up to the line of scrimmage. Chuck Nagel is still on the field, and he's hollering at the official, and the official calls timeout, so there isn't a timeout on the field. 5:52's on the clock now for the ball game. We're past the halfway point of the 4th quarter of play. Do you have something you want to point out, Mike?
Yeah, boy, is Nate playing like a man possessed on the pitch, man.
He sure was.
That was 2 tackles in a row. That last one there was quite a pop, too.
Well, it really was. The pitch was a little behind the man, but he made sure it wasn't going to go anywhere. Eureka's in punt formation, but there's whistles, and the kick won't get away. They blow it dead. Now, there's got to be a flag someplace, but no, Clinton called timeout. As the ball was snapped, they say Clinton called timeout. All right, let's take our break now. 5:41 to go in the 4th period of play. Clinton is leading 21-6.
Have declining interest rates forced you to take a pay cut? From 1990 to 1993, interest rates on 6-month CDs fell from 8% to less than 4%, cutting investors' income by more than half. You can protect your income from lower interest rates even if you're retired. Let Edward D. Jones & Company show you how you can increase your income over time. If you're ready for a raise, call Edward D. Jones & Company today. Edward D. Jones & Company, serving individual investors since 1871.
All right, Eureka in punt formation as we come back now. Eureka will kick it away. The line of scrimmage is the Maroon. Oh, they're going to fake it, and they're going to try to run, and Roki slips and goes down at midfield. It didn't work. They tried to run the fake after the Clinton timeout, and Roki didn't get anywhere. He slipped and fell down, and he is way, way short of trying to pick up a first down. But Eureka's in a do-or-die situation. 5.5 minutes to go in the game. They need a couple of touchdowns to have a chance at this one, and they didn't want to give up the football, and you can understand why they try it.
Well, that's what I was worried about. I thought they might be a fake, even though it was a very long situation. But Roki just slipped, and that killed the play.
So Clinton will take over at their own 49-yard line is where they spot it. Sams on the option right, trying to get around the corner, cuts it upfield, still on his feet. 45-yard line, goes down near the 42. About a 9-yard pickup for Nate Sams. And a good start on this drive for the Maroons. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 1 as they're in Eureka territory with just over 5 minutes to go in this ball game.
And you talk about a ball game being played by somebody. I mean, Nate Sams, I know he started last year, and you were here, Larry. I wasn't doing the games, but I mean, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, Nate is playing like a man possessed, like Mike Craig said, and he's just having a heck of a ball game.
He's decided now's the time to make sure we're going to win this ball game and get into the playoffs. And being the experienced young man he is, he's seeing to it. Here's Wilson, good strong run up the middle, has the first down and more. He's down to about the 38 or 37-yard line, and all these Clinton fans over there on the far side starting to have some fun, whooping and hollering as we're down to 4:43 to go in this fourth quarter play. Clinton leading 21-6 and a first down to the 38 of Eureka.
Yeah, right now the important thing for Clinton is keep the clocks running, keep the chains moving, and if they kill the clock, then Eureka doesn't have any time to catch up.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a nice welcome home for the football team when they get back to town. Maybe people come out and greet the football team when they get back, because this team has made the playoffs. If they hold on to this lead here with the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds ago, Wilson carrying on the first down play got about 4. They have made the playoffs for the 2nd straight year, and we weren't sure if this team was, you know, going to be capable of doing that. We knew they had some talented ball players, but did they have the type of depth? Did they have the experience? Certainly, they lost so many players to graduation last year, but they are coming through, and I think they'd enjoy seeing a lot of people greet them when they get back home later tonight, and maybe we can call in and let people know about the time they're going to arrive later on this evening as we make our drive back with the team.
Well, it was really a matter of a heart check, and this team has plenty of it, as they had lost 3 in a row.
2nd and 6. Wilson, first down carry, still on his feet. He's down to the 26-yard line and a first down. Jeff Wilson hammering out the yards for the Maroons. Has the Maroons down to the 26-yard line. See what we can do, Joe. We've got the cellular phone, so we can just plug it into the auxiliary power in my automobile, and we can call in and let people know, give them updates when we're going to be arriving later on this evening. So stay tuned after the football game, and if people want to come out and welcome them home as we caravan home, they can come out and, you know, last year we had it all wrapped up when we played the last game of the year, so it might be kind of fun to welcome the team when they come home. Here's a fumble on the snap, and I think Eureka might have got it. It got away from Sams. He spun around, and it's... Well, we're waiting for the officials to let us know, but Eureka thinks they have it at about the 29-yard line.
Eureka has it.
Eureka has it. It's not over yet.
And
snap between center and quarterback as Sam's turn got away from Nate. Squirted on the ground. He dove down for it, but somebody for Eureka got to it before he could and pulled it away, and Eureka's got the ball at their own 29-yard line. They've got one last chance with 3:23 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, and the fans come alive for Eureka. But one thing that hurts Eureka, they're not a very good passing team, and with this run-oriented offense, it makes it hard to get big yardage numbers.
And Luke Roki is hurting. Here's a quick pop over the middle that goes past the intended receiver. As you said, they haven't thrown a whole lot. Mike Kaufman was the intended receiver on that short pass, and he couldn't even turn his head quick enough to see, and it drops incomplete. And that, is only their 3rd pass play of the ball game. It stops the clock with 3:06 to go in regulation time. Again, Clinton is leading 21-6.
And really, they didn't look very, very well oriented on that play at all. As the guy was open, he just didn't look back for the ball, and it went right by him.
A 2nd down and 10 at their own 29-yard line. One wide receiver left, one wide receiver right. Of course, Roki, the lone back in the backfield. They'll give him the football. He's got a hole on the left-hand side. He's got first down yardage and all the way out to the 40-yard line, about a 12-yard pickup. And the clock will stop temporarily just under 3 minutes to go in the ball game.
And Roki did a nice job there as they ran to Eureka's left side. And they're going to try to get back in this ball game, but as I said, with the primarily rushing attack, it's going to be hard for them to move the ball down the field.
Eureka's only score of the ball game came midway through the first quarter of play when Chad Cribbs rambled in from 22 yards out after Luke Roki had picked up a lot of the yardage on that drive. Here's Roki getting a call again, excuse me. Well, I think it is Roki who takes it to the left-hand side. He gets out to about the, I think the 46-yard line or so before he's brought down, and maybe 6 yards or 7 yards more on that carry, and they'll have a 2nd down and 3. They've got to get it to midfield for our first down. We're down to 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. And, of course, as you said, without being able to move the ball through the air, the clock continues to run.
Yeah, and the important thing for the Maroons right now is, not to get too complacent. I mean, you can't just let them have some big gains, but I think they're going to do a good job
They're
here.
going to try to throw here on the 2nd down and 3, and it's over the head of everybody. However, there's a flag thrown on the play. Schumacher might have got tangled up with the receiver on the play. It went incomplete, but there's a flag, and this could be a penalty coming up against the Maroons over there in front of the Eureka bench. Chuck Nagel doesn't seem to be real concerned as we look across the field right now, and maybe they're going to pick it up. I see, it is a penalty against Eureka. They're saying it's offensive pass interference against Eureka. I didn't see the official signal, but that's what they're announcing, and it is definitely against Eureka here. And this one is going to be marched off against the Hornets with 2:06 to go in the ball game. They need 2 scores to have a chance of pulling this one out, with Clinton leading 21-6, and now their drive here is being pushed the wrong direction.
Yeah, and this penalty really kills them. I mean, it sets up a very, very difficult situation to even get a new set of downs now, and much less get a touchdown. I mean, 2nd and 18 is no piece of cake.
I think the official showed also it's a loss of down penalty, even with the penalty yardage marched off. So we'll wait and see if they change the yard marker on the far side. It should go to 3rd, and it will.
Okay.
3rd down and 18 coming up.
Well, that's even worse than a 2nd down and 18.
Yep. Well, you didn't know that. Out of the shotgun. They'll try to pass down the field, and the catch is made at the 45-yard line. That's short of a first down, but they will have a 4th down and 4 as they get their first. Oh, wait, we've got a flag back there in the vicinity of where the quarterback threw. He might have been roughed on the play. We'll wait and see. I think they roughed the quarterback, too. We're going to have a roughing the quarterback penalty against the Maroons also. I saw the preliminary signal, and Eureka is going to be well into Maroon territory with 1:53 to go with this penalty.
Yeah, and, it's kind of a bad play for the Maroons as it gives Eureka even more yardage. But as far as that pass, Randy Rich just fell and slipped, and that's why he was wide open.
Greg Lehman made the catch, went down at the 46-yard line, but apparently somebody hit their quarterback, Adam Roki, right after he let go of that pass, or maybe not right after, apparently too late, pummeled him to the ground, and it's called for the roughing the passer penalty here. And they're going to mark this one off from the 41-yard line. They're going to end up at about the same spot, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, wait a second. Why are we marking it off from there? Out to the 46-yard line.
So it negates the pass play.
Yeah, but they still get the same amount of yardage.
Yeah, and a new set of downs.
It's a first down, apparently. A first down, and Eureka's going to use a timeout here. Their coach is going out onto the field. Are they definitely going to use the timeout or not? I got to wait and make sure they're going to use it. They are going to use a timeout. 1:53 to go in regulation time. Clinton leads 21-6. Back with the exciting conclusion in just a moment. More and more people are shopping Dave's Food Basket. Let's ask our customers why.
Easy to get to, the prices are good, the clerks are all friendly, and it's a clean store, and I like the prices.
They have double coupons every day, so it doesn't matter when you get groceries.
It's a nice, friendly, clean store.
Very courteous. I'm well pleased.
I think your produce department is wonderful, and the frozen food is really great for me.
There you have it. More good reasons to shop Dave's Food Basket. Eureka with a pass play here on this first down and 10. A pass play, and it's broken up. Incomplete. Schumacher with a good solid hit on Luke Roki. Broke up the pass play. A pass play by Eureka on the first down play out here near the 45-yard line of Clinton. Schumacher with the hit, broke it up. Roki couldn't hang on to it on the near sideline. 1:47 to go, 2nd and 10 coming up for Eureka.
Well, they tried a quick swing pass out to Roki, and the ball just hung up in the air, and that gave Schumacher enough time to get over and knock it away.
So Adam Roque forced to throw the football here in the waning minutes of the ball game. Out of the shotgun will throw a short pass. Roque makes the catch, but right there is Wilson. Gets some help on the play from Wes Grays, I believe it was, and they drop him immediately. And really turns out a loss of a yard on the play, back to the 45-yard line of Eureka. Maroons with good coverage on that short pass.
Actually, it's a better situation if Roque just lets that ball hit the ground. And that's the first pass completion for Roque tonight, but it's for negative yardage.
But you never know. Whenever he gets the ball in his hands, he could break something. But the Maroons have kept him pretty well under wraps, and he is being hampered, I'm sure, out there with that injury that he picked up in the third quarter of play after a fine run. Roque wants to throw again. Fires it over the middle. Got an open man there. The catch is made, and Nate Sams will make the tackle. It's going to be very close to a first down after the catch is made by Ryan Sides, it appears, out there in the left flat. They're into Eureka territory. They want to use a timeout. They're still signaling for a timeout, and they finally get the call with 57 seconds to go in the ball game. We'll take another timeout also. They'll have a 4th and 1 at the 45 of Clinton when we come back. 57 seconds remaining. Clinton leading 21-6, but less than a minute to run out the clock. Back with the finish in a moment. Maroons 57 seconds away from getting into the playoffs for a second straight year. We'll have the playoff show tomorrow night to let you know who they play, starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. They'll run it. First down, Luke Roque to the 45. They'll stop the clock to move up the chains, but the clock will be down to 53 when they snap the football again, Joe.
Yeah, and that's really the main situation for the Maroons. They just keep the clock running, and the Hornets won't have enough time to score twice.
They need 2 times about this time, and almost came close to scoring another one. There's a pass almost intercepted by Nate Sams. Underthrown. I think the intended receiver out there was Mark Householder, and Sam stepped up and almost had a pickoff. He had one earlier this year like that he couldn't quite pull in, but was in the right position for.
Well, he's a quarterback, so he normally doesn't get a...
You said that last time, too.
So he normally doesn't get a lot of chance to catch the ball, but it's a good play by Nate just to knock the ball down.
Here's the situation. 46 seconds left to go in the ball game. Clinton leading 21-6, and Eureka with a 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line. But they haven't quit. Eureka keeps coming at us. They have yet to be put away by the Maroons. They'll try to throw again. Pop over the middle. A nice diving attempt. Sam's had coverage, but the pass thrown a little low, and that was Chad Cribbs that made the diving effort down near the first down marker, but it was short and incomplete. 41 seconds on the clock.
And a 3rd and 10, so the Hornets have to get 10 yards within the next 2 plays, or it's academic.
They'll run the play in from the sideline. Eureka's Mark Householder will come in with the play. A 3rd and 10 from near the 40-yard line of Clinton with 41 seconds left, and they're taking a lot of time in the huddle. Probably calling, I would hope, call 2 plays because they want to hustle up to the line and keep it moving. A couple wide receivers to the right-hand side. Householder is one, and the other is Cribbs. Back to pass. Roque bounces off a defender, fires it downfield. Schumacher's there. It's off his hands, and then he makes the catch just near the goal line. Tries to run it back. He gets it out to the 6. He juggled it a bit, but Schumacher has another interception with 30 seconds remaining. It almost got away, but he pulled it in at the last second.
And once again, I don't know how Schumacher catches that ball. Oh my! It just seemed like it seemed like maybe the Eureka wide receiver could make a play on it, but Ryan Schumacher picked it off, and once again with his good hands, he just found it, and that's his 2nd interception of the night.
And some of the Clinton fans, I think, are feeling confident. Mike, they're heading for the gate. Maroons are going to be in the playoffs again this year.
It sure seems that way now. Only 30 seconds to go. What's that, about 8 or 9 interceptions for Schumacher?
I don't know. I've lost track. We really should know exactly how many he is, but he's grabbed a ton this year, it seems like, and that one obviously a very big one. It looked like he was kind of playing it like an outfielder, kind of nonchalanting back to the warning track, knew how much room he had. And then he about bobbled it out, and it gave the Eureka receiver a chance to grab it away from him, and I thought maybe he would for a second there, and they were right there at the goal line.
I think it bounced off his shoulder and came up, didn't it? And then he caught it?
And he reached out and pulled it back in. And he was going away from us, but that's the way it looked. Joe?
I think he does have 7 or 8.
Very close to that. we'll check in that. We'll be prepared for the playoffs, I guess. Huh? We get time to do that now.
Well,
It is Joe's job. That's right.
They had in the pantograph he had 4, but he had one last week, and I knew that wasn't current, so...
Need to update the stats. We need an updated stats. 30 seconds remaining. The Maroons used a timeout, and now they'll just kneel down. And then another timeout is taken here. Eureka will take a timeout. 25 seconds remaining. All right. So what time is it here? The game is ending here at about 9:45. We still have 25 seconds remaining. To give the Maroons some time to head into school and get changed, hit the bus, and about an hour trip back. So probably around 11 o'clock or so, the Maroons will be hitting town. That might be a little too quick. They might be after that. Is that a little early, you think? No sooner than 11 o'clock. Mike says 11:20, 11:30 before the Maroons will get back. So if you want to come out and greet them, keep an ear on the station, and we'll call in and let you know how they're progressing. We'll try to trail in behind the bus if they don't get out of here before we do. They might. We get long-winded on the post-game show sometimes. We'll wrap it up quick so we can follow them back, and we can let you know when they're going to hit town. The Maroons back about the 4-yard line, kneel it down again. Eureka has run out of timeouts, and so these two teams will shake hands at the center of the field, I believe. The clock down to 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Now the Maroons will be in the playoffs and will be on the road with their 6-3 record in the first round. And we'll find out tomorrow night sometime where they'll be going, what time they'll be playing, and all that type of information. So tune in tomorrow evening on WHOW-FM for that information, not only on the Maroons, but also on the Maroa Forsyth Trojans and other area teams. We'll want to know where St. Teresa's going, and if Sullivan got in, and if they're going, where they're going, and that type of thing. Let's come back and recap this one for you in just a moment. The final score here at Eureka, the Maroons make the playoffs. They're 6-3 now. They win this one over Eureka 21-6.
When it's time for retirement, will you be ready? With rising income to stay ahead of inflation, strategies to minimize taxes, cash reserves for unexpected expenses, financial security to enjoy the retirement you deserve. It's never too early to start planning for retirement. Edward D. Jones & Company has the solutions you need. For convenient personal service, call your local investment representative today.
Okay, we're back here at Eureka. Joe's busily adding up his stats on this ball game. All the scoring came in the first half of play, and the Maroons hit early. The third play from the line of scrimmage by Eureka after the Maroons kicked off. Ryan Schumacher intercepted a pass, gave the Maroons the ball at the 43-yard line. They moved it in. Nate Sam's 35 yards on the option for the first touchdown of the ball game, and it looked like easy pickings for the Maroons. That happened with 9:53 to go in the first quarter of play, and Kortz's kick made it 7-0 in favor of the Maroons. Eureka put together a good drive, though, after that. Moved it downfield. Chad Cribb scored from 22 yards out with 5:30 to go in the first period of play. It was 7-6. Maroons led by 1, and we thought, okay, now we got a ball game going here. But Nate Sam scored again, a 2-yard quarterback keeper before the first quarter ran out. 1:39 to go in the first quarter. Kortz again with a kick, 14-6 in favor of the Maroons. And then about halfway through the second quarter of play, Sam's broke another 40-yard option run to put the Maroons up 21-6 after Kortz's kick. That was at 5:51 to go before halftime. 21-6 at that point. We thought it was going to be somewhat of a high-scoring ball game, but the team settled down. Both teams played pretty good defense after that. The offense slowed down for both teams, and it settled down, and we just played out the rest of the ball game with no more scoring. Both teams had opportunities, but neither team was able to put any more points on the board. But fortunately, the Maroons already had the 2-touchdown lead, so they coast in, win it 21-6. They finished 6-3, and we know for sure the point totals are so high from our schedule, from our opponents' records this year. The Maroons will be in the playoffs with that 6-3 record. Eureka will have to wait and see. They may not make it, probably won't make it with their 6-3 mark with their schedule this year, but they still have a shot at it. But the Maroons feel good because they know they're going to be in it, and they just had a nice little celebration down there on the field.
Oh, yeah, they have to be feeling good, and it's just a good situation. The Maroons made it for the first time in the playoffs last year, and now they repeated.
You know, it wasn't that long ago, Joe. You and I were sitting up there at Hancock Stadium at ISU. We were at halftime of that game against Central Catholic. We were down 35-0 at halftime of that ball game, following the loss to Monticello, following the loss to St. Teresa. And we were sitting there going, man, what's happened with this team? Well, how are we going to turn this around? We couldn't even think about the playoffs at that point. But they put it together in the second half of that ball game and regained some confidence. They outscored Central Catholic 19-7 in the second half of that ball game. and I think that gave them the confidence to go into that Sullivan ball game. They pulled out the last-second victory at Sullivan, 15-14, and the rest is history. They beat Argenta last week. They win this one tonight, and they are in the playoffs. What a comeback by the Maroons, and especially their defense. The last 3 ball games, they've given up 14, 6, and 6. A big improvement over those 49, 41, 42-point ball games that they had in the middle of the season where they gave up big points.
Yeah, it was a real gut check by the Maroons. I think they showed their heart. If not coming from behind in 3 games to win it in the final minute, then winning their last 3 games in must-win situations to get to the playoffs.
All right, well, let's wrap it up real quick here. Quick look at the stats, and then we'll tell people about what's going to happen tomorrow night and head on home.
Well, Nate Sands was the leading rusher for the Maroons. He finished with 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jeff Wilson did a nice job. He got the brunt of the load in the second half, getting 72 yards. And Bob Igems filling in for Ryan Connolly at tailback did a nice job on the option. He got 25 yards on 6 carries, which is very good. Nate was 5 of 9 passing for 54 yards. Schumacher had 4 catches, 49 yards to collect most of those. And the big job on the Maroons defense was Luke Roque. Yes, he had 136 yards on 27 carries, but he averages 143, so it was a good job by the Maroons defense. Kaufman had 31 and Cribbs had 30 to support Roque, but it just wasn't enough. In the final minutes, they had to pass. Adam Roque was 2 of 9 for 9 yards and 2 interceptions, but they really had to go out of their element, and it was just a good job by the Maroons defense.
Brian Schumacher, 2 more interceptions tonight in this ball game, one very early, one very late, and they both helped the Maroons slow down Eureka and hold them off and win this ball game 21-6. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we'll have Coach's Corner with Coach Chuck Nagel. As usual, we'll talk to him about this win and then pick his brain a little bit about what he thinks is going to happen as far as the playoff pairings that'll take place tomorrow night. Now, the IHSA has to wait till all the games are completed tonight and games that'll be played tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow evening, they'll sit down, they'll figure out all the teams that are in the playoffs, then they'll divide them up into the classes. Clinton will be in Class 3A. There's no doubt about that with our school enrollment. We'll be in 3A. Then they find out what the 32 teams are that are going to be in 3A, and then they'll figure out which group of 8 we'll go into. And I think we're going to get shoved to the south again, like we did last year. We went south, and we ended up with Robinson in the first round. I think we'll get shoved into the south quadrant again, but we'll wait and see. We might end up going east or north or some other direction. And sometime, maybe around 9 o'clock or so, we'll get word on who the Maroons are going to play, and we'll pass that along. We're going to go on the air tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We'll have a review of the season, highlights of all the games this year, and so on. Then we'll find out who we're paired up against. We'll talk about that. We'll get Coach Nagel on the air. We'll talk to Eric Black, the head coach of Maroa, about his playoff situation. We're going to have a good time tomorrow night, all starting at 8 o'clock, and we'll talk about the playoffs then.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say I don't care where we go, just as long as we are going somewhere.
But we're going somewhere. We'll be on the road, but we'll be playing in the playoffs again this year. So we hope that the fans will get ready. It'll be a game next Saturday afternoon, most likely, and we'll hope to come out and support the Maroons on the road just like they have so far during this regular season and with the great crowds we've had at home. So anyway, you can find out that information first on WHOW-FM radio tomorrow night as soon as they get that word passed along to us, but we'll start at 8 o'clock with our coverage. Joe, we better head on home. We'll keep people posted on the approximate arrival time for the Maroons when they get back to town, so we better pack on up and make sure we get in line behind that bus so we can let people know when they're going to hit town. But for Joe Spencer, good job tonight, Joe. Thanks. Hey, we're going to get a 10th game at least this year. This is Larry Dooling. Our thanks to Mike Craig also for his help on things, and hope you enjoyed the television replay also. The final score again tonight from Eureka, the Clinton Maroons 21, the Eureka Hornets 6. Good night from Eureka.